lesson learnt. I'm going to have to try and, try and find a different way of kind of getting those streams done a bit quicker. But yeah, it was just because I kind of did something a little different on there, and that resulted in it going a little bit longer. So I've just seen something come through from Wrestle Purists. So I need to have a little look at that. Looks like we're just struggling. I don't know if we're connecting as well. Just having a look, seeing if the stream is coming through and if everything's good. Yes, it is. Okay, I don't know what you could see because it looks like there was a slight connection issue for a second there. So I don't know what you've seen, right? So I'm just going to pretend you've not seen anything and just quickly say what I said, right? So apologies, I'm a little bit late. Member stream overran. I did a new sort of way of doing the member stream, and it resulted in a lot more communication. It resulted in a lot more kind of questions and chit chat, and it was really great. Like, it was great. Like, it was, it was great, but it just meant that we overran. So I will have a look at trying to make that a little bit snappier in the future, so I'm not as late. So I do apologise. But there is something from Wrestle Purists here, which I just want to have a look at. That just caught. I don't know what it says. This is from Fightful Select. WWE's legal department signed off on Brock Lesnar's return in recent weeks. The phrasing that WWE's legal team cleared him being used elsewhere has led to many fans believing that he has been cleared of any wrongdoing in connection to the lawsuit in which he is named, but not a defendant. That isn't the case. Janelle Grant's legal team expects more could emerge in Discovery. Oh, okay. I feel like we sort of knew that. I mean, Janelle Grant's team put a statement out yesterday that made it clear that they were excited or looking forward to all the facts, including about Mr. Lesnar coming out in a court of law very soon. So, it made it very clear. We've kind of said that in Unseen, and we've said it on the watch-alongs as well, that, it's been made very clear that they are not giving the thumbs up for this return. They are not like, yeah, no worries, good luck, we don't really have any problem with Mr. Lesnar. That's not coming from Janelle Grant's team. So, but that bit's interesting, isn't it? Janelle Grant's legal team expects more could emerge in Discovery. So as they're getting the case together and compiling all the bits and bobs, it could turn out that Brock is even more involved than we currently know. So, or it might not, right? So, okay, interesting. Little bit there, not much. I think the big thing is one that I would like to think we already knew, which is a WWE legal team clearing Brock doesn't mean that he's been cleared of anything. That I think the Janelle Grant statement from her team yesterday told us that. I think that we're kind of ahead of the curve a little bit on this one. The statement from Janelle Grant's team kind of told us that was not the case. As of every single one of his shirts is a top seller. Yeah, look, in regards to the Cariyon thing, I am going to just shut up, all right? Because I don't know what's going on. I find it very hard to believe that WWE are just going to let him go. I don't know why they would do that. I think he's a great talent. He's got a great look. He's got a great entrance. I think he's always done what he's been asked to do. I don't know. Because I don't know, something doesn't feel right. But sometimes things happen and you just can't quite explain them. And if he does get let go this weekend, and I just don't know why, we're going to have to wait and see if the answer ever emerges. I mean, if he does get let go, then, hopefully he can tell us if he knows why. The fans don't want it. This whole We Want Kross movement's going to grow throughout the week, as it should. But I think the best thing for me to do now is just really shut up. Just in case this is happening and he is on the verge of losing his job, I just want it on record that something don't feel right to me, because I just don't see how they don't see it. They are, I mean, they tell us how many views things are getting. They know that Brock's return got 70 odd million views across their social media. They've got social media teams. A lot of the indicators they use to see how wrestlers are doing and connecting is how many Google searches were there, how many video. It's not like things are happening and they don't see it. They see it. They are aware of it. So they know that there is a whole We Want Kross movement. They know that there is this desire for him to get more opportunity and all of that. So they know. I have no doubt that they know. They're not going to let him go and then go, oh, really? What, people liked him? No, they know. They definitely know. If nothing else, look at the merch that's like the top sellers. They know. So if they know, and they talk all the time about listening to the fans, how can they just allow his contract to expire this weekend? It does not make sense. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't smell right. Something is not right. Do you remember I said that about Cena turning babyface? We were like, something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't smell right. How correct were we? All of us, not just me, all of us. We all knew something wasn't right. I don't think we knew it was leading to the return of Brock Lesnar, but we knew that something was up. But I'm going to shut up about it now, just in case this is actually happening and it's not a work and, you know. What's this? John, shout out to you. Right, let's get back to the chat, shall we? What's that? The vest is framed and retired. That's nice, actually. Did she? I wonder if this fan made it and then got it signed by Bailey. Ding dong, hello. Right. Let's go back over to the chat. Let's see where people are, shall we? A big thank you to everyone that just joined us for that member stream. It was good. I enjoyed it. Michael Fitzpatrick, shout out to you. And Nick Clark, shout out to you as well. Becoming members, joining the members side of the channel. Really appreciate it, my friends. Welcome, welcome. We'll have another stream tomorrow. Got a good topic tomorrow. Going to be joined by community member LS Dub. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to get our teeth into the topic that is, how are you feeling about WWE right now? Where are you with your wrestling fandom? How do you feel about everything that's going on, right? Not just Brock and that. I mean, I'm sure we'll touch on it, but more about, like, how do you feel about 2025? And, you know, how do you feel coming out of SummerSlam? And, you know, are you excited about the direction we're going in? Are the current stories grabbing you? Like, we're going to get stuck into that as a topic. And it should be good. Looking forward to it. Also looking forward to this, which is, of course, NXT. Let's do our preview, then get into the chat. So, we've got Kalani Jordan stepping up to take on Blake Monroe. We've got Nia Jax. I'm looking forward to that. She's going to get smashed, mate. She is going to get smashed. This is like a classic big girl, big guy, little guy. It's Great Khali against Rey Mysterio kind of vibes. And it's going to be good. Look, Thea has got, obviously, her Kimura that could definitely cause Nia some problems. But I think this is probably going to be a humbling. It's probably going to be Nia Jax brutalizing Thea Hail. And, yeah, it's going to be good to see Thea back in action, though. Nia, big name, main evented Elimination Chamber the other year against Rhea Ripley, as that was in Australia. That was last year. So, I mean, this is someone that doesn't only make it on PLEs, but has big matches for, you know, titles and stuff. So here she is in NXT, taking on young Thea Hail. So I'm down for seeing that. And it's got intrigue. So Kalani against Blake Monroe. Blake in action again. It'd be good to see that. It's crazy that Mariah May is in WWE, but there we go. Nia Jax, Thea Hail, looking forward to that. So Ruca, Tatum, looking forward to that. A lot of people like Tatum and want to see her, you know, do well. Could she win tonight? Could she get that championship tonight? Hank and Tank take on Chase U. NXT tag title match. Not down on that. I don't think Hank and Tank lose, but I'm not down on it. Perfectly acceptable title match for a Tuesday night NXT show. And Miles Born against Lexis King. We need to do that because that feud's been bubbling away. It's a weird feud. Lexis King is sort of trying to make out that Miles isn't deaf, and I'm really just would love to move on from it. So let's do the match. Let's leave this behind us and let's move forward. So no, not bad. Honestly, there's a bit there. I'm like, yeah, okay, down for that. Down for seeing some of this. Should be good. Right. FX Light. FXY Light said, I've only gotten back into wrestling this year after being a decade away. I've been happy with the year so far, but it does feel gross with the Brock stuff right now, said FXY Light. Yeah, do you know, I think it's really interesting because I think people genuinely, the shock was real. I think everyone would kind of reacted the way they reacted. And I think it's really interesting as well because, I was just shocked. So I was just open-mouthed, couldn't find the words, didn't know what to say, brain couldn't comprehend it. In my brain, I'm just trying to figure out, how has this happened? Has he been cleared? What don't I know? I'm not in possession of the facts. Where are we? It's really, and that culminated in all of that resulted in me just being shocked. But I've seen other reactions where people are dancing and celebrating. And I mean, if that's how they reacted, that's how they reacted. I think time will judge as to whether that was the appropriate reaction or not, right? And we don't know at this stage. We just don't know. We're not in possession of the facts. So I think everyone, now the shockers wore off, is looking at the situation and seeing what other people are writing, maybe even learning more about the situation if they didn't have possession of the facts before, or the allegations, or they'd heard it'd been caught up in something, but they weren't sure what it was. I think now there's a lot more information that's being shared. I think people are kind of better educated a few days later now. And so it's really interesting to see where and how the dust is settling. And I don't know, honestly, I don't know where we are. I did a poll straight after SummerSlam. 48%, I think it was, said that they loved the fact that he was back. If I was to do that poll now, would it get the same response? I mean, to be honest, I might run that poll just after SmackDown. If he is going to be on SmackDown, I might run it after SmackDown. There's not really much point running it now because obviously I feel like only a certain percentage of people are engaged in NXT. I sort of feel like people are probably all brocked out after the weekend. So I feel like let's just let people live their lives for the next few days. But once we get to SmackDown and the whole Brock conversation fires back up again because John's on that show, then maybe I'll drop that poll again and we'll see if there's been any movement, either positively or negatively, and we'll see where the temperature is. It's honestly really interesting seeing the comments that people are making and seeing where the dust is settling and just seeing where we are, where it is, where we are. And I honestly can't quite get a gauge in the room. I got the impression that it was, I would say, neutral to positive on the night of SummerSlam, immediately, right? I mean, and I think a lot of that positivity was driven by the reaction of the live crowds, because big pop, can't deny it was a big pop, and I think there was a lot of content creators there that did dance around in the aisles, right? And I think that will have kind of sent a bit of a message that this is okay to like this. And so I think the immediate reaction was neutral, shocked to positive, with a sizable percentage of immediate negative reaction, right? And now as the dust is settling, I feel like it's probably more balanced. I don't sense that it's more positive that's, on the rise. I feel like it's probably getting more, like that positive's probably dropped and it's probably negative has grown and it's probably a bit more balanced. I don't know if the negative's going to pull ahead or where we are. It feels very in flux at the moment to me. So I don't know. It's fascinating to watch, honestly. It's fascinating to watch. But I could understand if everyone's like, please, tonight, please, no Brock talk. I could understand that. I could understand that. Right. The Who review said, do you think NXT in ring will be good tonight? Well, I don't think it'll be any worse than Raw. I was just talking about Raw and how, for me, it was a little bit of a struggle. It was a show that I gave 5.5, I think, to 5.7, something like that. And I think a lot of the heavy lifting is the Becky promo. And I think the Roman CM Punk brawl at the end. I think those things, you know, I wasn't expecting Roman, for example. So to see Roman... and actually, it wasn't until after I went back through my feed and saw Roman had been rumoured, which I never saw. I'm not very good at seeing the rumours when we're live. And I'm not very good at seeing the rumours, say, like the hour before. Like, I've just done a members stream. So, you know, I don't really keep an eye on rumours as they're coming through once we're live, because I'm too busy talking to you guys. So, yeah, there'd been some rumours about Roman. And I never saw them, so good. I'm pleased. So that meant that it was a genuine surprise. So I think those things did some heavy lifting. I really think the in-ring yesterday was poor, and that is reflected in the community match scores as well. Well, I mean, they're okay. I mean, like, good 94 for Alexa Charlotte, that's fine. I'd say that's acceptable. Dom Dragon Lee, good 92. Grayson Penta, good 93. I mean, there's nothing here that's like good 99, great. You know, main event got to great 53, but I do think a chunk of that was Roman and Punk, because by the time I got the poll up, all of that had happened. So I do think that if you took Roman and Punk out, I don't think that gets into the great range, because even with Roman and Punk coming out, it's still only just made great. Great 53 is the low end of great. So it's one of those where, in-ring wise, I thought it was underwhelming. And I can't see tonight being any worse. I think tonight will be better. And this is a pattern, really. This is 2025, where Raw sort of underwhelms, doesn't really deliver. And then that means NXT can come in, do something decent, and we go, oh, that was much better. No, yes, that was much better. And honestly, there's been a few weeks where Raw's been good, and then NXT will do probably what it normally does. And NXT, you're kind of like, oh, needed a bit more from that. It's really, that's a really interesting conversation about how Raw affects NXT, and how if Raw is good, NXT can be a bit, no, it was all right. But if Raw's really bad, I think NXT looks amazing in comparison. So I do think the two work together. The kind of NXT benefits from a bad Raw. So we'll have to see what they serve up. But I am, as I'm saying this, conscious that there was a good amount of people, a healthy amount of people that enjoyed Raw. And if you enjoyed Raw, or you enjoyed any show that we were like, not really feeling it, it's fine. It's opinions, and you're not wrong. Like, if you enjoyed something, then you saw stuff that you enjoyed, and you enjoyed it. So it worked for you. And so that's absolutely brilliant. That's great. No, you're not wrong. I think there's a bit of a misconception when it comes to ratings, that there's a right and a wrong answer. That, you know, if I say a match is 5 and someone says it's a 9, that, you know, I'm wrong or they're wrong or something like that. Like, they just saw stuff in it that worked for them that didn't work for me. And I can, I've got enough experience to be able to explain why it didn't work for me. And I'm sure they can explain why it did work for them. So there's not like a right or a wrong to it. It's just different perspectives, isn't it? It's just different perspectives. So yes, let's see what they've got for us tonight. Rent Free said, Daze, what do we consider the start of WrestleMania season? Is it the first Raw of January, or is it the Royal Rumble? Also, when would we start SummerSlam season? I think we do need one now. It's 2 nights. Rent Free, that's good. That's great. I personally consider the start of WrestleMania season to be the first Raw, yes. And actually, I think you can sometimes even go before that. for example, when Punk came back at Survivor Series, I actually think that was the start of that year's WrestleMania season. I mean, CM Punk was back at the end of November. So all of a sudden, the Raw December episodes, they're unmissable. They are just as meaningful as anything we got in the builds. Those December Raws following Punk's return were just as meaningful, just as unmissable as I would argue the March Raws that we had this year, right? So I don't think that really... they say the road to WrestleMania starts at the Royal Rumble. But of course, going into the Rumble, you've got people announcing that they're going to be in it. You've got championship matches that are being built. We've seen titles changing hands at the Royal Rumble. So, you know, you can kind of go back before you... If the Royal Rumble is the start of WrestleMania season, then the few weeks before leading up to it are putting the pieces in place for the Rumble, aren't they? That has to be a part of it as well. I suppose in a way it's a little bit like, you know, if you are throwing a party, well, part of that process is planning the party. So if the Royal Rumble is the party, the weeks before is the building and the planning. And for me, that's still part of the process. So I would argue that really WrestleMania season starts, first Raw, first show, whatever it is, in January, we're off. Because really at that point, it is just all... The thing with December is you've obviously got Christmas and there's a lot of disruption. And, you know, historically, some of those episodes have been best of episodes. There's been quite a few years where, you know, there'll be an episode that's on December 24th or December Christmas Day itself, or even the 23rd, and they'll just run a best of. Let's have a look back. You know, they'll be in the... I remember one year, I think it was Michael Cole, Pat. They were at headquarters and they were just looking back at like, wow, what an amazing time it was in WWE in February. This was going on, that was going on. We're going to go over to a match now. That and they'll show like PLE matches, things that weren't on TV. You needed Peacock for or whatever. They'll throw to like, we're going to go over to the main event of WrestleMania and we're going to show you that now. And, you know, they'll show that and they'll show like some classic Raw matches, you know, do stuff like that. Hard to argue that that is part of WrestleMania season. But actually in recent years, we've not been doing that. In recent years, they've been taping shows instead. So they're taped, but they are still new content. It is still stuff we've not seen. So that seems to be more the appetite these days. So I would say, unless something absolutely seismic like Punk's return happened, I would say I feel pretty confident that you've got to set the table for the Rumble, which you do in January. And so I include that as part of WrestleMania season, yeah. But really, they will tell you that everything kicks off at the Rumble. And then we go from there and, you know, that's when you get like a good February, March build. Normally, WrestleMania is early April. This year, it was later April. If you've heard Triple H, he likes to cry about that. Is like, oh, you lot don't understand. We had to book an extra 2-3 weeks. It was so challenging. This is why it was all mid. And it's like, no, shut up. You could have given us an amazing February, an amazing March, and then we could have had some lame weeks, some awful weeks where we did nothing, right? But it doesn't explain why we got largely nothing in WrestleMania season. I mean, it really was flat. It really was flat. I mean, anyone that's going to tell you otherwise is rewriting history because it was flat. There was nothing going on. We were on a European tour and it was dull. And, you know, apart from John Cena coming out and just having a few words where he would berate the crowd after his heel turn. And don't forget that heel turn happened at a PLE. So the stuff we were getting on Raw and SmackDown were just promos after the fact. And certainly if you compare it to the build with The Rock and Roman and, you know, all the great stuff that we had leading up to WrestleMania 40, it was a lot. It was lacking for this year, really lacking. So I think if you're going to do a SummerSlam season, I think the kickoff would be King and Queen of the Ring. because that is obviously the winner gets the title opportunity. That's the prize. That would play the part of the Royal Rumble. So, you've got to win the Rumble to get the title shot at WrestleMania, to get the title shot at SummerSlam. You've got to win King and Queen of the Ring. So that would be the Royal Rumble replacement. And then, of course, after that, you've got your builds. And to be honest, after that, we should just be talking welcome to SummerSlam season, counting down SummerSlam. I know there's some other PLEs in the way, but they're on the road to SummerSlam. And we don't use that language. And we should start to use that language. We should start to build it as a season. And we should start matches and feuds that are clearly heading to SummerSlam that just ignore some of the other PLEs, and they ignore Saturday night's main event. They ignore whatever. I mean, we had Evolution in there as well, so that was a bit of a problem because that was in there. So it's not as smooth. I feel like WWE started with WrestleMania, added the Royal Rumble, and really from the moment they started doing pay-per-views, WrestleMania season has been a thing and has been baked into the structure. And so as we've added other shows, they've always been added to WrestleMania season. Whereas here, trying to build a SummerSlam season would be something we've not done before. We've never had SummerSlam season. So you're kind of having to build it backwards, really. You've got all the shows, and now you're having to try and introduce a SummerSlam season that's not been there before. So it's a bit harder, to be honest. And things will get in the way. But yeah, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree. I think SummerSlam should be the WrestleMania of the summer. I think it should be 2 nights. I think it should be in a massive stadium. I think we should have something that rivals WrestleMania. And I don't think it's a problem that you have WrestleMania and SummerSlam, and they are the 2 major events. I don't think one takes away from the other. I think they're both huge, and I think there is enough room in the year to support those 2 major shows. So I am not down on really building up SummerSlam. I've always thought we should. I've always hated SummerSlam being in little arenas like it used to be, like 2017, 2018, just, 20,000 people or so. No, it should be in a stadium. I think back to SummerSlam 92 at Wembley. Like that, I've got that image burnt in my brain. Like it should feel big. It should have felt even bigger than it did this year, to be honest. I mean, I think they did 55,000 each day. I was just saying that stadium holds way more than that. Loads of that stadium was topped. I think the reason it was topped is because they went with a big stage. But I think the reason they went with a big stage is because ticket sales were where they were. If ticket sales had absolutely flown, then I think you would have had a smaller stage. You would have had more people in. But the high ticket prices meant ticket sales were slower, and as a result, you end up with what you end up with. But make no mistake about it, if they'd lowered those ticket prices, they could have sold more tickets, and they could have got more people in, and, could have been a bigger feeling event. I mean, it was still great, still felt way bigger than a normal SummerSlam would. So, I mean, no complaints, a step in the right direction. It's just, can WWE start to creatively book 2 nights better? Because I think I've seen a lot of people going, it doesn't need to be 2 nights. There's too much faff. And my answer to that is, okay, well, can we not just change the faff? Rather than reduce the 2 nights, can we not just make the faff better? Like, that to me is like, there's a lot of talent that want to get on the card. And there's a lot of talent that still didn't get on the card. There was no LA Knight and people were upset that there was no LA Knight. There was no New Day. There was very little Bayley. I mean, she made a little cameo during a match. But I mean, there was no Bayley match, for example. There was no Asuka that was competing on this card, right? And you can go down a healthy list of people that were missing. And so, if you do make the card, if you are someone that makes one of those 12 matches, then, the pressure is on you to deliver. Like, really, you've got to step up. This is a massive opportunity. And, there's other people like Finn Balor that could have been on this card. There's people that were just waiting in the wings that could have had that spot and maybe would have done a better job. So I think, honestly, if people feel there was faff and fluff and things that weren't to standard, I would say, rather than reducing it down to one night again, can we not improve that? Can we not make that better? Can we not learn from this? Can we not find a way of... Because I'll tell you one thing I think is hurting, lack of house shows. And that has been said by wrestlers as well. I think a lack of house shows is a problem because you would have basically worked against your opponent on those house shows, and you would have then gone into SummerSlam with a good idea as to how the match is going to go. You could have worked on some spots. You could have got some chemistry. You know, you could have tried a few things in those matches. Didn't work. Definitely not going to do that at SummerSlam. Or, oh, I really loved that you did. Keep that. We'll do that. So, you know, by doing house shows and actually trying some stuff and trying to structure a match that way, you know, you basically end up with a dance, if you will. Like, I suppose in a way it's a bit like a performance where you go out there and you perform a routine, right? You perfect your routine and then you get it down and you go out there and you deliver it. And I think what we were seeing was a lot of people lacking in chemistry and a lot of people that hadn't really had chance to work on much go out there and try and put on something that was going to be truly memorable. And that's really hard, man. I mean, if you're an amazing wrestler that can just get in the ring and put on a banger, right? You are special. You are gifted. You was born to do this. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can be thrown in the ring and just make magic. It's a little bit like giving a blank canvas to flipping Leonardo da Vinci. You know, chances are he's going to deliver you a masterpiece, right? But you can give that same canvas to some other painter that's very, you know, accomplished. They're not going to deliver anything of the same level. And the same is true with pro wrestling. You can put someone in the ring like a CM Punk or a John Cena or someone like that, and they're going to give you a certain standard. But you can put someone else in there, maybe a Solo, I don't know. Put someone else in there and it's going to be a lower standard, right? Certainly if they've not been able to prep for it. So I just think that rather than like axing the 2 nights, there's other things that can be done to help. I think that, you know, bringing house shows round as we lead into SummerSlam would be of benefit. And I think that as well, like really making sure that the feuds are built better. Because I think a lot of people would say there was no season, hence why we're having this talk, and that the build was rushed. And that actually some of these matches felt a bit undercooked even coming into SummerSlam. On paper, they look good. But actually, you know, did they need more time to marinate? Did we need a season to really get this, you know, where we needed it? So it's an interesting conversation. A really interesting conversation. I would like to see a SummerSlam season. I'm for the 2 days. I hear the people saying that we need to cut it. But my pushback would be... I think, Mike, you know, I always focus on the work. I always focus on let's do the work. Let's not take the easy option. I feel like people always want the easy option, and I'm not that way inclined. I'm always, no, let's do the work. You know, the people that are like, oh, I'm bored of Cody, let's turn him heel. That's the easy option. That's the easy thing to do. You press that button and you change his relationship with the fans. You change everything. But that's the easy option. And there's no guarantee that works. The harder thing is to give him really compelling creative, give him a bit more attitude, make him compelling, like do that work and make him, you know, the babyface champion that he can be. Because, I mean, if anyone, I think, is going to go on to break John Cena's Make-A-Wish records, I think given enough time, that person could be Cody Rhodes. If anyone's going to sign as many autographs as John, I think given the time, that person would be Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, I think, was born for this, loves this, is a good person, and is someone that I think can be that next, as they keep saying, white meat babyface. The kids love him. There's adults that love him, but I understand that his character's gone a bit stale. So let's give him better creative. Let's do the work. The heel turn is the easy option. It's the nuclear button. It's the easy way out, and I don't like it. I think that if you allow creative to press that button, you're just letting them off the hook. Creative are getting paid to be creative. So make it creative rather than pressing the heel button, which is just it's the easy way out. I said before, if someone in creative came to me and I was Triple H and they proposed that, I'd slap them around the face. Honestly, I'd be livid at them. I'd be absolutely livid, because you are basically saying to me that you can't do your job. That is what you might as well just come in the room and go, listen, I haven't got a clue what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't think I'm good enough for this job, because the only idea I can come up with is to just turn him heel. And I'd be like, you know what? Thanks for your services. Yeah, I'm sorry it didn't work out. And honestly, that's how I would feel if I was Triple H. That's how I would feel. I just think that creative should be creative. And in regards to the SummerSlam 2-night thing, the easy option is to go, there's too much waffle and too much faff. Let's just get rid of one of the nights. And it's like, well, hang on, let's not do that. How about we make the matches better? How about we make both nights better? How about we put some stuff in place that's going to make these shows what they could be? 2 amazing nights, a whole week. I mean, that's what we want, isn't it? We want more great wrestling, more great matches, more stories, more things to feel engaged with, right? We want more. Everyone always wants more. So if WWE are going to give us 2 nights and they're going to give us more, if it doesn't work at first, then I don't know that the solution is let's just get rid of one of them. Let's try and make it work. And some of that might be, let's reintroduce house shows. Yeah, let's make sure the card is right. Let's do some better builds and, dig into things that way. Let's not just take the easy option and go, right, that's day 2 gone, and just go back to one day and just whittle it down, Let's look at why it didn't work. Let's do a full breakdown of not now. I'm just saying, if we were in creative, let's sit down, let's have a meeting, right, SummerSlam. Let's break it down match by match. What worked? What didn't work? Was it timing? Was it pacing? Have we got a problem with the producer? How about if consistently producers are given matches and consistently those matches suck? What if there is a producer that is not producing the quality of match that we need? I'm sorry if that is what's happening. I'm sorry if we can look back at some of the bad matches and a similar name keeps appearing. But, again, rather than going, goodbye Sunday, right? It could be that. It could be that one of the producers is not to standard and the matches they're putting together just not good enough. And maybe then we have to part ways with that person. And maybe then we start to see improvements in the match quality. So I think there's just so many ways that you have to look at why a show has underperformed or why a match has underperformed. There's so many different angles and ways to kind of look at it that I'm a big firm believer in do the work, man. Do the work. You're getting paid really well to kind of, do what I would think is a dream job. Who here wouldn't want to work in WWE creative? Dream job. Do you know what I mean? To actually sit there and come up with angles and stories and swerves and, do you know what I mean? Character development and really get your teeth into all that stuff. I mean, rather than sitting here going, that was a bit dull, wasn't it? You could actually be part of the solution. You could actually be in there in the engine room, kind of putting these pieces in place and making it more compelling and giving the fans what they want, Who doesn't want to do that? So I think, honestly, creative, they should be held accountable. They should be held accountable. And I think because we don't see them and because we don't know their names and because we don't know exactly who has said what and who's responsible for what, and do you know what I mean? Because it's all behind a door that we don't have access to. It's too easy to just blame the wrestlers and blame, it was 2 days, but let's go back to 1, or Cody's dull, let's make him heel, or do you know what I mean? it's always like the easy way out. It's always the stuff that we see when I think the blame is behind the door. I think the door that's closed, that's where we should blame. That's where we should be going, this isn't good enough. And so that's why I wanted to see Unreal and get a glimpse behind that door so that I know who to hate. And I've got names now. So there we go. Right. Let's go into Daze. When is that Hall of Fame poll going up? Do we have Martin's photo for the championship? I do have. I don't have it done because I got stuck into that conversation, didn't I? So it'll be up tonight. I have got a jobs list that currently says sort out the members chat, do Wendy Lucho's graphic, and sort the Hall of Fame thing out. So all of that is on my to-do list. And once we're done with tonight's NXT, we'll get our teeth stuck into all of that. James said, Daze, I think I've got a feeling that Kross has signed a new deal. If he was out the door, they would not have mentioned him on Raw last night. They might even have him go on indie shows to sell that illusion. Do you know, this is a conversation, honestly, that I feel really nervous about. And I appreciate you bringing it up, James, because it's just going to quickly allow me to touch on it, right? Something doesn't smell right to me about the Cariyon Kross situation. Something's not right. And I think I just said this on the member stream. I'm not going to go into detail again. But I know that WWE see everything on social media, right? They see the trends. They see who's being mentioned, Google impressions and searches and video views and YouTube comments and Twitter comments and just general reaction online. I know that is looked at. I mean, WWE compile lists of views on social media. I mean, you'd be stupid to think that they put up posts and they put up, bits and bobs and they don't look at the feedback, right? There's a whole social media team that are working on things like that. And a lot of those indicators, that's how WWE know which direction to go, right? It's not just the live crowd. You know, it used to only be that back in the day. But since the internet's feedback 24/7 being thrown at your direction, right? And WWE see that and they work with that. And there is absolutely no way, zero chance, zero, right? Zero, that they don't know about the We Want Kross movement. They are fully aware. They are fully aware. I mean, God, Triple H sat there and had it chanted at him. I know that he misheard it, but someone will have brought him back up to speed after, because it was everywhere that Triple H had misheard, right? So, I mean, it will have been brought to his attention. You know, when you thought they were chanting Brock, they were actually chanting Kross, right? So he will be aware that he got that wrong, okay? He knows. They know. So they say they listen to the fans. The fans are chanting We Want Kross. You could hear that the fans were behind Kross in the feud with Sammy. Triple H is sat there with his headphones on, right? If he's hearing Sammy getting boos and Cariyon Kross getting cheers, you know, that's another message. I just got shown by Wrestle Night that Cariyon Kross's merch is like amongst the best sellers right now. They know. They know. So how are they about to let him leave this weekend? How are they about to let him leave? How are they about to not renew his contract? It doesn't add up. Unless they're just really off with him and they hate him, or he's done something wrong that we don't know about. Maybe he's, I don't know, hard to work with, or unless there's something like that. He's got a great look. He's got a great entrance. He's really good with promos. He works really hard on social media. He's got a connection with the fans. I mean, short of his match quality, right, which you can't massively judge because he hasn't had that many matches this year, but his matches, unfortunately, with Sammy were not great. Other than that, he ticks all the boxes, and the most important box is the connection with the fans, and he has got that. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling with him having his contract up this weekend and just going and potentially go into AEW where, you know, you're just giving them like this fan favorite wrestler. I'm just struggling with it. The math isn't mathing. That's the point I'm making. But the thing is, I need to shut up because I don't want people to doubt that this is real and not, you know, tweet "We Want Kross" because they're like, oh no, this is all a work. You know, Wrestling Daze has said this doesn't feel real and it's all a work, and so people don't show him support, and then he ends up actually leaving. You know, I'll feel terrible if that happens. I'll feel terrible. I'll be like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that he has left. I mean, if he does go, I will be genuinely shocked. Genuinely shocked. So I hear you, James. I hear you. I feel like I'm in the same boat where I'm just not believing. I'm struggling to believe that they can't see what we can see. And as a result, he's about to just walk out this weekend. And certainly when you look at how well this is working for him, like this is amazing for him. He has got so much support. SummerSlam ended. Brock had returned. John Cena is babyface. Cody is champion. Amazing TLC match. Fans outside the stadium have the option to chant anything. And they chant "We Want Kross." Out of everything they could have chanted, out of every single message that crowd could have sent to Triple H, they could have said anything. Could have said anything. LA Knight, LA Knight, LA Knight. They chose to chant "We Want Kross." And if that doesn't tell you that he is connected with the fans right now, or that what is happening right now is working, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, he is over. The fans love him. He is connected. And this is working really well for him. It's just, is he going to get that new contract? Has he secretly signed a new contract? Are WWE doing this on purpose to build that connection with the fans? It's clever. It's 4D chess. If this is what they're doing, it is very clever. Make it seem like he is close to leaving. Make it seem like his contract is running out. Make it seem like he's about to lose his job. And get the fans to rally behind him. And that will really be a kind of organic, kind of viral movement. And we know how powerful they are. The "We Want Cody" movement was organic and viral. The Yeselmania movement, the Daniel Bryan movement, that was organic and viral. The Joe Hendry stuff is organic and viral. And that got him to WrestleMania to have a match with Randy Orton. You know? And he's not even a WWE superstar. I mean, it is incredible the power of an organic viral movement. The power of it. It can get you anywhere. Can open any door, can achieve anything for you. And they are touching on that right now with Cariyon Kross, which again just makes it so hard to believe he's about to just be let to walk out the door. But I've got to shut up. I've got to shut up, because what if he is really, for some reason, about to lose his job? What if I am completely wrong and for some reason it's happening and he is going out the door, you know? I've just got to shut up about it. But honestly, I would just like it noted that if, you know, he's here in a month's time, 2 months' time, you know, something didn't smell right to me right now. Like something seemed off in this moment. So, but equally, if he does end up leaving, I will also allow people to be like, you got the Cariyon thing wrong, didn't you, bud? And I'll be like, I did. Honestly, I did. Something seemed off with me. I can't believe he's gone. I can't believe he's left for the reasons that I've detailed. I can't believe they let him go. Unless something comes to light and he's just really difficult to work with, or they perceive him to be difficult to work with, or he's had a big falling out with someone. Perhaps there's someone backstage that just really can't get on with him, and that's like being a barrier or something like that. That's proving to be a problem, you know? Maybe it's something like that I'm just not aware of. And perhaps there is like some real life issue that is resulted in him being blacklisted. I would like to think that's not happened. I would like to think that that's not the situation that we're in. But yeah, I mean, to put a bow on this conversation, please keep supporting Cariyon Kross. Please keep buying his merch, tweet him "We Want Kross," keep supporting him, keep chanting, keep doing all of that. I do not want to have any responsibility for people thinking something that then turns out to not be true. The only thing I'm saying is something just doesn't feel quite right, because I can't believe they don't see what we are all seeing, right? I just struggle with that. So, James, I am with you. I am with you. Let's hope that we are correct. Let's hope that we are correct and that Cariyon remains with the company. Lisa, hello. Said, Daze, when will you open the voting for the Hall of Fame? I'm not campaigning, but I just noticed it's not open yet. Yeah, I spoke about it on the member stream. So there seems to be a real appetite for it. I've been asked that a couple of times. So I will get it done tonight. So my jobs list, I am going to tick every one of these jobs off tonight. I give you my words. So I will have all of this done tonight. My jobs list currently has 3 things on it. Obviously, I need to do the review video and Unseen. That's a given. And we're doing the stream, right? So we're doing this stream. I'll get the review video done. I'll get Unseen done. They'll go out. And then I am going to sort out the members chat so that it's on screen, okay, going forwards. I will get Wendy Lucho's graphics sorted. And I will get the Hall of Fame nominations thing out tonight. I will not go to bed until those things are done. So that's what you're getting out of me today. You're getting an Unseen, you're getting this stream, you're getting the review video, you're getting the members chat sorted, the Wendy Lucho graphics sorted, and you're going to get the Hall of Fame nominations. Yeah? What else do you want? Blood? Huh? Blood? Do you want tears? Is that what you want? Daze, if they do a European tour, said Mr. Dale Jr., they need to make those shows unmissable. Do open challenges or something. There's just not been anything memorable. I agree with you. I agree. Do you know what? I completely agree. I think open challenges is a brilliant shout. I would love for there to be some segments that are not just promos or matches. You know, it's either in the ring doing a promo or it's we do a match. You know, I would love for them to mix it up. I really would. I mean, talk show segments, I'm totally down for. I'm totally down for flipping arm wrestling, right? Even though those segments can be awful. Like, just give me something to be anticipating. Like, they're doing the arm wrestling segments. Are like these things are normally trash, man, but let's see how it goes. You know, at least it's something different. At least, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm having vanilla and I'm having chocolate. And it's like the promos are the chocolate, the matches are vanilla. And I feel like it's that. It's just that. That's all I'm having. Throughout the whole of 2025, that's it. That's all I'm getting, right? Yeah, I'd love banana. Oh my God, I'd love banana. I would love a bit of strawberry. Oh, Jesus. Honestly, even if it's bad strawberry, even if it's like, I can sort of taste it strawberry, but I've had better. I just, do you know what I mean? Oh my God, and I dream of mint. Oh, mint choc chip. Oh, Jesus. Just don't. Honestly, just don't. Just, you know, those moments where we've got flipping supermarket brawls, or we've got flipping vehicles being driven down to the ring, you know, things along those lines. Stephanie being sacrificed, you know, Bobby Lashley's sisters, happy birthday celebrations, flipping, just anything. This is your life. God, I'll even take Katie Vick. Just rerun that. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Go to a funeral home and try to make love with a dead corpse. Yeah, I don't care. Just give me, that is the mint choc chip. Just give me something that's not just a match and a promo again and again and again and again and again. And normally the matches have just been thrown together that day as well. They're not even matches that have like really great builds. It's normally just like bump into someone in the corridor and they're like, I was walking here, and it's like, I don't care if you just walk in there. Oh, really? Well, how about you'll care later in a match? And they go, I'll see you there. And then their entrance music starts. They come down to the ring and we watch a match that goes for about 10 minutes and has no emotional impact on me whatsoever. And then maybe we'll follow that with a promo. And then we'll go back to another match that probably got booked the same way as the last match that I just mentioned, or some sort of equivalent. And then before you know it, there'll be a big ending where maybe someone will come down and make a save. And then we'll sit here and go, what did you think of Raw? And people are like, well, matches were a bit off this week, but we did get like that line and we did get like that ending. It was good to see CM Punk get involved at the end. And I think it's probably like a 6.5. And we go, okay, see you next week. And then we do it again and again and again and again and again and again. It's like they've got one script. They've got one script. They just changed the date on the front of it. But other than that, everything's good. So yeah, some open challenges, that would be good. Big Time said, Daze, it's unfortunate coming out of SummerSlam that the spark was reignited for my fandom for wrestling that I've not felt since 2024. I was excited going into Monday. I did feel a little deflated coming out of it. Well, listen, look, I don't mind us being critical of WWE, and I think there's some people that join us that really struggle with that because, well, first of all, I think there's people out there that enjoy shows we didn't enjoy, but there's also people that are new to wrestling that for them this is like, oh my God, what's going on? This is amazing, because they've not seen the even better times that we've seen, you know? So I am always conscious of, like, you know, not getting too moody for too long on it and too negative for too long. I think it's easy to get dragged into that. But, you know, yeah, this is not to the same standard as recent years. If you are enjoying this, fantastic. Just know there's even better to come. There's even better that this can be even better than it is right now, right? And so it's one of those where I can be critical of WWE because I ain't going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? I'll be sat here next year and the year after that, right? And the year after that. Because I've been watching this since the early 90s, and we all know that wrestling is cyclical. It goes through periods that are great, and then it goes through periods that are challenging, and it goes through everything in between. And I don't quite know where we are on that scale in 2025, but yeah, you know, it's one of those where I can understand people being a bit like, it's just not getting me at the moment, I'll come back when it does, or, you know, maybe there might be some people that drift away for good, but there's always new people coming in. There's always kids that are coming in. It's kind of crazy to me that I did like toy hunts back in 2016, 2017, 2018. And it's like, I think about those as if they were yesterday. Those don't seem that long ago to me. They certainly do not seem like 9 years ago. And, you know, it's crazy to me that there's kids that are like 8 years old that wouldn't even have seen those videos. They wouldn't have been around when the stuff I'm talking about in those videos were happening. So, you know, as people kind of go, I think it's losing me, you've got this next wave of fan that's kind of coming in. So it's probably not brilliant for this channel that I'm constantly like, oh my God, why is this not better? I probably should, if I wanted to be more successful, just be like, oh my God, this is, guys, you're so wrong. Guys, how can you not see this is like as great as it's ever been? I'm too goddamn honest. I need to start thinking more like a brand. I need to start, like, you know, putting positive spins on things. So, look, I'm going to do that now, by the way. It's fine. It's great. It is going to be good. And I think what I would say is, if it is a little challenging at the moment, if it is a little down at the moment, do you know what? It just means that when it gets good, it's going to taste even sweeter, isn't it? Yeah, but you didn't think about it that way, did you? You know, it's a bit like when you go for a meal and you have a bad experience and you're all sad and you're going, oh, I was hoping for better. And then next time you go out, you're like, oh, I don't know. Last time we went out, it was not very good. And so you go out again and then you have a great experience and you're like, oh my God, this has made my year. Honestly, I was a bit worried before we went out, but this has just been so good. And so you have to sometimes take the yin with the yang. So if you're going through a lot of yin at the moment, just know that the yang is going to come and it is going to be sweet. It is going to be sweet. Yeah. So just, you know, we've got a bit of yin going on in 2025. Maybe 2026 is the yang. Yeah. So actually, in a roundabout way, I think we should be more positive. Yeah. I think we should be more positive. And I think this channel should be more positive as well, as we, you know, reflect more on how lucky we are that we live in a timeline and in a universe that even has pro wrestling. Think about that. Think about that. There might be some parallel universes where in their universe, they don't even have pro wrestling. It's not even been invented. Right? They're sitting around watching cornhole or whatever it's called, where you chuck the beanbag, right? That might be their pastime, yeah? They might all be cornholers, yeah? We don't have to do that. We've got pro wrestling, and we should be thankful for that. So think about that before you start commenting, yeah? Robert said, Daze, what star from SmackDown or Raw do we think needs to go back to development? I hate those questions because we need to be more positive. So saying that someone needs to go back to developmental, like, how do you put a positive spin on that? How do you, like, make that all soft and cuddly, you know? Honestly, anyone that just is not getting it, anyone who cuts a promo and it's flat, anyone that has a match and it's flat and consistently, you know, they need to go back and just kind of improve their general skills. You know, if you're great at pro wrestling, you should be given a microphone and you should be able to, without any practice, cut a promo that is captivating. Yeah? Give me a microphone. Tell me a subject that I need to cut a promo on, and I should be able to go out in front of a crowd and deliver something that has some sort of value to it, right? And if I'm highly trained and I've been through lots of different experiences and I'm, you know, I've had lots of promo classes and I've, you know, worked with promo greats, you know, like Dusty used to do the promo class down in NXT. I mean, imagine being trained on promos by Dusty Rhodes. You know what I mean? So you should be able to go in and cut promo that's like really. If you can't do that, then clearly there's some more learning. There's more lessons that are needed. And I'd say the same with in-ring as well. I mean, you should ideally be able to get into a ring and just call it on the fly and be able to put on like a really good solid match. You know, maybe not consistently 5 stars. I mean, I don't think anyone was quite that level. Even the great Bret Hart wasn't delivering 5 stars every single match. So, you know, but, you know, ideally you should be delivering to a certain standard. So really, I think when it comes to being called up to the main roster, I think the best way to think about it is about like passing your driving test. Because something that resonated with me when I passed my driving test was I was about to go for my test, right? And my driving instructor said to me, listen, I say this to everyone, and I think it's the best advice I can give you. And I think hopefully it's going to help you in your test. And you go, okay, right, what is it? Tell me, right? What is it? Is it a trick? What do I need to do? And he says, just remember this, right? You are not meant to be the perfect driver, that you are not meant to be the finished article. You are not meant to be God's gift to driving, right? There is a reason why, and I think this might be in America as well, but there's a reason why they allow minor mistakes. They allow minor mistakes because people aren't perfect when they drive. There are minor mistakes that get made even on tests. there are minor mistakes that get made. And I think in the UK, you're allowed like 12 during your, test, like minor mistakes. Obviously, anything major, it's a straight fail. But minor mistakes, you're allowed like up to 12 or something. So he was like, I just want you to remember that if anything goes wrong, like at any point, as long as it's just a minor mistake, you're still in the game. The expectation is that you are not the finished article. And I think that actually really helped me actually, because it just calmed me down. If you go into a test knowing that you haven't got to get 100%, do you know what I mean? It's all right if you get 80, and that's still going to be all right. Like, it did actually focus me and settle me down. But I think the same is true with pro wrestling, in the sense of you can leave NXT with, still work to be done. And I think the belief is that you will kind of continue to improve on the main roster. As long as you can leave NXT with just minor mistakes and, be at a certain level, the hope is that by the time you've been on the roster a few years, you will be at the, a much higher level. So, someone like Tiffany Stratton, who for me, give her a mic in the ring, I don't think she's going to give you a captivating promo. I think she's going to go, guys, what time is it? Is it Tiffy time? I think she repeats her catchphrase, and I don't know that she's going to come out with any killer lines. She ain't going to do what Becky did, right? And I think that comes with time. It comes with experience. And I think it's really difficult because, there's people that are at various different stages on the main roster in regards to their promos, in regards to their matches. And I think it comes down to, are they at a level where they can continue to improve, get better on the main roster? I don't want to give you a name, to be honest, because nothing constructive is going to come out of that. To me, it's not too far removed from who do you want to see get released, and I wouldn't give you a name on that either. But what I can tell you is, historically, a name I would have given you would have been Liv Morgan. I always felt she came up too early. She was someone that was in Riot squads that was just too soon. She just didn't have her character worked out. Her matches were so-so. Promos were, awful, and they were awful for quite a long time. And honestly, she was undercooked. She was really... But I think the belief was she was in Riot Squad. She'll get there eventually. And she's got there. We are definitely there with Liv Morgan now. I would not say to you, in good faith, I could not sit here and say, right now, Liv Morgan should go back to NXT. You would laugh me out the room. You would probably stop watching the channel because you'd be like, this guy just don't know what he's on about. But go back about 5 years, I would have said that to you, that she needs to go back to NXT. Because she just wasn't there. But again, the thought process, I think, was she'll get there. And rather than have her in NXT, they had her do that learning on the main roster. So anyone that you're thinking of right now that is potentially struggling, unless they are absolutely drowning, unless they are absolutely lost, it is just they're all at sea, the character's off, the promo's not there, the match quality is suffering. Unless they are really lost, really struggling, then I think that they're probably fine where they are. There is one name I'm thinking of, actually, but I don't want to go down that road. No. Right, Mohammed said, one thing I can't understand. For 5 months, Cena and WWE talked about the last real champion taking the belt home. And then suddenly, in a 3-day span, Cena lost. Why heel turn if the end game was that? Mohammed, shout out to you. I agree, because I'm sure you've been with the channel and, heard the conversations we've had. I predicted Cena would leave with the belt. None of that bothers me in regards to getting that prediction wrong, because when you have a return like the Brock Lesnar return that is so out the blue, unpredicted, controversial, like just game-changing. Game-changing on every level. I just think, I don't even know if this was the plan. Apparently he was cleared 4 weeks ago by the legal team. So when they turned John back in February, Brock was not available. Maybe there was a hope that they could make him available, but he was not available. So I can't say with all confidence that this was the plan. And, you know, I don't know what's changed. I don't know how this has come about. I don't know if Triple H is good friends with Brock, or if Rock is good friends with Brock, or what the story is. But it feels like WWE, to me, it feels like WWE want to bring Brock back. Because they maybe believe he was caught up in this, and that it was kind of more Vince's fault, maybe. I don't think if Brock was the driving force behind this, they would be interested in bringing him back. But I wonder if, like, Triple H or someone there, like Nick Khan or The Rock or someone, has a pretty healthy relationship with Brock. They've had conversations with Brock. Brock has maybe guaranteed to them or got in their head that he knew nothing about this, and they believe him. And so they've worked to try and bring him back. It could really just be one person that's gone to bat for Brock. It could be something like that, where one person, be that, I don't think it's John after his comments today, but it could be that one person, Nick Khan, Rock, Triple H, someone, anyone, Bruce Pritchard, don't know, has gone, listen, I've had chats with him. He is adamant that he got caught up in this and knew nothing about it, and he was not, and, you know, they've somehow got it cleared through their legal department, and I just don't know. It's so hard to tell you what's going on when we don't know what's going on. And we're talking about a situation we never saw coming. And we're talking about a situation that's highly controversial. I mean, someone somewhere has made a decision, and this is the decision they've made. And so trying to make sense of it is challenging, honestly, really challenging. And not something that I can make sense of at the moment. So I think when it comes to the John Cena heel turn and this being the end plan and all that stuff, I don't think it was. I think we've gone down a road that we've gone down, and here we are. John today has basically said they deal them, I play them, you know, they give me the opponent, I do the matches. Basically saying, I never asked for this. I didn't deal this card, right? This isn't someone that I was requesting. They just tell me who I'm facing. I face them. And that's basically what John has said today. So I don't think it was John that went to bat for Brock. So I don't think that the heel turn had this as its finale. I actually could believe that when they were saying that I'm going to ruin wrestling and all that sort of stuff, that was a path we were on. And then I could believe that the Brock situation has happened and we've now gone down a different path, right? I mean, we're not going to know really till we get Unreal. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if we'd be able to trust that, because the stuff in Unreal about the John Cena heel turn doesn't add up. I need to find the clip of Triple H saying that he sat down with John last year and they came up with this. Because I've heard that. I have 100% heard Triple H, be it at a press conference or somewhere, I have heard Triple H saying he sat down with John late last year and came up with all these plans. And now all of a sudden the narrative is that it came from The Rock and, you know, it went down this road where we needed something, and they decided, how about we turn John? And the other thing as well is that the original plan was apparently The Rock wanted to turn Cody. Or the original plan actually was that Cody would say no, and then Kevin would come down and he would get a match there, and then at Elimination Chamber he'd be champion, right? That was the original plan according to Unreal. Then I think WWE said, well, we don't want to do that because we don't have, like, Kevin being champion in our mind. So how about Cody turns? And then I think they were like, no, that doesn't feel right. And then I think Bruce said he came up with Cena turns. But this is all connected with Elimination Chamber. But there's big rumours that John was meant to be turning at WrestleMania and that they had already had these plans in place. So the explanation of the John Cena heel turn just leaves big questions around, well, hang on. I'm sure I heard Triple H say that he sat down and spoke with John about this at the end of 2024. That's not referenced in Unreal. And there's also loads of reports that say that Triple H and John had agreed the turn would happen at WrestleMania. That's not referenced in Unreal. And so this version of events of the John Cena heel turn that we get in Unreal has got big questions around it. It's got big questions around it. I don't know that that is the correct timeline. I don't know that that is how it actually went down. Again, something else that doesn't smell quite right. If you look at all the other comments that have been made, if you ignore Unreal and actually just look at all the different interviews that have happened since John turned heel, Triple H at the press conference after, interviews that Triple H did in the build to WrestleMania, just The Rock's comments that he's made, just bits and bobs, and piece it together. The picture that you get by doing that is different to the picture that was presented in Unreal. So even if we get an Unreal about Brock and how this came about, I couldn't even have faith that that would be the true story. I couldn't even believe that that would be the truth. So yeah, it's I hear what you're saying, but I think it feels to me like we're operating on a different timeline, to be honest, than the one that was intended. I'm currently listening to Tiffany's podcast with Logan. She revealed that she got into a real street fight with a couple, and a guy stomped her actual face, said Grog Vlogs. Tiffany as in Tiffany Stratton. I didn't even know Tiffany Stratton had a podcast, to be honest. Mohammed said they would have let babyface Cena win the title at WrestleMania if he had to lose that way. It's pathetic booking in heel turn periods. They would have had him have the title till November. They would have let a babyface Cena win the title at WrestleMania if he had to lose this way. Pathetic booking, heel turn periods. They would have let him have the title to November. I don't know. I don't know what the plan would have been. I mean, all I know is that it felt like we were going in this direction and then it feels like we've turned. You know, I think we can all agree that John turning babyface on SmackDown was very unexpected. It was a very, we're going this way now, you know? We're kind of driving down the road, going to SummerSlam, and then Friday, the go-home SmackDown, we go like this, and we're like, well, sorry, what are we doing now? We're going down that, no, we're going that way. It's like, surprise! I thought we was going that way. Nope. I thought we was going Disneyland. Nope, not going Disneyland. We're not going Disneyland. We're going to the Washington Library. Yeah. It's like, Mickey Mouse. I want to go that way. So we did like a big swerve. We went down that road instead. And it just feels very late in the day. It feels very sudden. It feels, well, I mean, it feels like we've done a big turn, doesn't it? It feels like we've gone down, we've done a hard change, a quick change, gone down a different road, and all of a sudden now we're doing something else instead. So, don't know. It was the whole thing was strange. I would love the truth, and I can only hope that that comes out in some sort of podcast one day. I would love the truth. I just want the truth. You can't handle the truth. It seems strange that Triple H stated Cena wanted Brock, and Cena said that it was all Creative's decision, and he just goes with what they give him, which I heard him tell Randy on some show, said Steve. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I don't think Triple H really meant that in retrospect, because, you know, I think Triple H sat down with John And I think he said to John, who do you want? And I think John probably mentioned a few names like, well, this would be good, that would be good. But honestly, I'll face, whoever you think is right. But I wonder if John has like chose his final opponent and his WrestleMania opponent and, has got like some names. I mean, if you sit down with John and John goes, oh, I'm not bothered, you're probably going to push him a bit, aren't you? I mean, if I sat down with John and I was like, John, what do you want to do? Who do you want to face? Where, when, how? You tell me. Do you want stipulations? What do you want? Heel, face? Let me know. You tell me. We'll work. We'll use that as the starting point, basically. You tell me what you want. I'll get it down, and we'll start trying to figure it into some sort of plan. And if John goes, not bothered, right? I think you'd kind of go, well, give me something, John. Give me some, give me something to work with. Let's start at WrestleMania, shall we? Who do you fancy facing at WrestleMania? And you kind of like might dig into it a little bit more. So I think there probably was, even if it was coaxed out of him, some sort of list, some sort of I'll do this, I'll do that. But really, in John's mind, he's honestly like, I'll just give me whoever, and I'll get in there and do whatever. So if they're going to serve him Brock now, I think in John's mind, he's like, okay, right, this is part of the job. Part of the job is, right, how do I make this work? I think he actually relishes that. I think part of it is that he relishes the stepping up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he relishes here's the challenge, John. You've got to get a great match and a great build out of this person. And, it's a bit tricky because they're not quite, not quite there. It's going to be one of their first experiences at the main. I'm not talking Brock. I'm just saying that this is what he's like. Okay, yeah, I can do that. And I think part of what he likes is that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's like always motivated by it's got to be just the big names all the time. I think it's like, it's all right if it's a smaller name, and part of the thrill and part of the challenge is, how do I elevate this feud? How do I make this work? How do I get an amazing match out of them? How do I, get an amazing build out of them? And so I think when he says they deal it, I play it, I think that is something that he enjoys doing. And I think they've dealt in Brock, and I think his mindset is, okay, interesting challenge, this one, actually. There's obviously a lot of noise around, and this is going to be interesting. So I think he's seeing this as a challenge. So I think when Triple H was saying, like, John gives us the list and we work our way through it, there might be some truth there, but it doesn't mean that every person John is facing was on that list. I don't know that John sat down with Triple H and went, right, okay, appearance 1 is going to be promo. Appearance 2, Royal Rumble. Appearance 3, Elimination Chamber. Appearance 4, I will have turned. I'm going to turn, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do promo. Appearance 5, promo. Appearance 6, promo. Appearance 7, WrestleMania. Right? I'm going to be at WrestleMania, and I want that to be Cody Rhodes. Right? Next appearance. I don't think he had it like that. I think the truth lives in the middle, where it's going to be a case of they've got a few names out of him. They're working through those. They've chucked a few other extra names in there. He's loving the challenge, working in those. And I think the truth lives in the middle. So I believe this was not requested by John, but I'm not sure Triple H necessarily lied when he says there was a list of names, they're working through them. It's just, I don't think that there was a full list. I don't think every match was listed. I don't think Brock was listed. And, you could make an argument that it's a bit of a cop-out answer because it insinuated. So it took the temperature it took the focus away, if you will, momentarily. It took the focus away that Brock was back and that no one wants him here or whatever, because it made it seem like Cena did. It made it seem like Cena went to bat for Brock. In a way, it's like, how can you complain about Brock being back? Cena has requested it. How can you complain? And that's kind of how it felt for like 24 hours. And now today, obviously, the news has come out. Well, kind of the news has come out. Cena's like, listen, I don't know how to make this any clearer. They deal them. I play them. Which is basically his way of saying, they give me the opponents. I face them. I don't choose them. So I think the truth lives in the middle, but I wasn't there. So I don't know. But that's my of all the stuff I've read, that's the way I've interpreted it. But I would love the truth. I'd love to know what's gone down. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is so unexpected. Right, let's go down. I realised that they're not going to break it down, but Triple H suggested that Brock was on the list and Cena made it seem like it wasn't. Triple H said Brock was on Cena's list and it sounded like Triple H was fading any blame. But I think I've done a breakdown as to how I've kind of portrayed that personally. Brian said, it takes the heat off Triple H. It makes Trips look like the good guy when really he's a lying POS, says Brian. Sanan said at some point we need another segment with Cena and Ron since Cena's now face again. Big Time said they think WWE is in a situation where they avoid the goofy sports entertainment because fans want a serious product. AEW has benefited when WWE was not serving those fans. Once they did, AEW lost its appeal. So you think they're in a situation by not doing goofy sports entertainment? No, but I think sports entertainment can be done well. I think if you look back in history at like really great, I mean, like for example, you know, the Rock birthday celebration stuff where Mick Foley kind of threw that party for the Rock, and you know, all of that is like sports entertainment, but is really, really well remembered. Like that is a segment that they did that was genuinely fun. The reactions were brilliant. The crowd loved it. It was something that was a different flavor. It was sports entertainment, but it was sports entertainment done really, really well. And then you think about Stone Cold driving the beer truck down to the ring. I mean, that and like hosing everyone down. That's not a promo and that's not a match. That is Stone Cold coming down with a beer truck, fits his brand, big OMG moment, and getting the hose, beer going everywhere, Vince swimming in the ring, and everyone getting hosed down. Like, again, that's not a promo. It's not a match. It's an OMG, what is going on segment. I mean, when that thing drives out and you can see part of the screens lifting because the truck's that big, and like part of the engine, I mean, it's so big it only just fits into the arena. And it's just like, what am I watching? What is the true... It's one of the great Raw moments of all time. If we was to do a countdown now, it would feature, right? So I look at that and I'm like, wow, flipping amazing. And I know like the ring collapsing as well. That's another one that's like, wow, amazing. You know, I think there are moments... OMG moments that you can do, but it's just Vince always made it toilet humor. Vince always took it to somewhere weird. Always, like, you know, the whole kind of kiss my ass club and, you know, things like that. I mean, it's hard to write really good segments. And again, this is me holding creative against the flames, right? I think it's really easy to do what they do right now. I'm sorry, but I do. And I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's easy, anyone could do it, right? And I kind of downplay what they're doing. But I just think that creating matches because of quick little backstage interactions, and then you create a match, I could do that till the cows come home. You could do that till the cows come home. There doesn't strike me like there's much skill there. It's just, what wrestlers do we want to face off? Let's have Dominic on the show, and we haven't used Dragon Lee in a while. Okay, we'll do a quick little backstage interaction, and that'll lead to a match. And a lot of WWE these days is that. And I think it's easy to write, easy to book, throw in a couple of singles guys together into a pointless tag match against some other guys that shouldn't be in a tag team. I think that's really easy. Doing some promo segments, I think they're easy because a lot of what we hear is just recapping of where we are with the story. A lot of the start of yesterday's Raw was just Paul Heyman telling us what's happened and how much of a genius he is and how he's honoured to be in the ring with Braun, the tribal thief, and Bronson, and, you know, how Seth is the new world champion, and, you know, he could be with Roman, but Roman hasn't had a belt in a year and a half. He could be with CM Punk, but CM Punk doesn't have the belt right now. It's just really easy, simple, just retelling of a story stuff. The hard stuff is to give us some different segments that are actually compelling. That's the hard stuff. How do you give me a Bayley This Is Your Life segment that's actually entertaining? That actually the comedy lands, the drama is dramatic, and, you know, you actually have the audience engaged, and we look back on that segment and go, do you know what? That was so good. That was actually really entertaining. Or, you know, how do you give me a Bobby Lashley's Sisters segment that is good rather than it just being cringe and what are they doing, right? I just sort of feel like you are right that they got rid of a lot of that stuff because they wanted to be a bit more credible and they wanted to not lose ground on AEW. And since they've done that, WWE has massively benefited. But I think if the argument is that all sports entertainment is rubbish, all sports entertainment is, you know, cringe, I think that's a really dangerous road to go down, isn't it? I think because then we're ignoring some really great moments from the history of WWE. I think the truth is that great sports entertainment segments are challenging to create. I think that there is a lot of room for error. I think that you've got to go into them with confidence, and you need to have really good, skilled writers to make sure that the comedy lands and that, as we said, the drama is, you know, engrossing. But I'm a big believer, again, do the work. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Do the work. Don't just avoid doing those segments because they're hard. Do the work. Do the work. Write the segments. Double check them. Make them tight. Make them compelling. Honestly, you could hire someone that just sits there and just writes loads of sports entertainment segments. That's their only job. Their only job. They get paid X amount a year. They sit in a room and they just write loads of sports entertainment segments. They make sure the writing is tight. They make sure that everything is executable. They make sure that we know if we're going to run this, these are the things we need, and it's all written, right? And it's all good, and it's like done and sealed and double checked and all of that. And they just write, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50 different things, and that is their only job. That's all they do. And then if ever you need to just spice a feud up, you ever need something, you just go over to that person and go, right, I've got Rhea, I've got EO, they were friends, massive falling out. We need a trial of Sammy type moment. We need a big showdown type moment. We don't want to just do a normal promo exchange. We want something a bit juicier. What have you got? What have you got for two wrestlers that need to confront each other, and this needs to be something, you know? And then it's like, yeah, okay, I've got a couple of things actually. And then you've got that person there that's got these segments pre-written. WWE makes so much money that you're telling me you can't have someone on the staff that just does that. That's their job. You're telling me that's not possible. I mean, I feel like we do this for theme music. I feel a bit sorry for Def Rebel, right? And this is going to be a controversial take, but I feel sorry for them because a lot of people look at Jim Johnston and go, GOAT, and amazing. And he was, but he did not have to make the amount of theme music that they have to make now. WWE is so much bigger. I mean, there are people that are in Evolve that need theme music. Everyone that comes into this, every new class wave that comes in, they need new theme music. And so you've got people in Evolve with theme music. You've got people in NXT that need theme music. And then, of course, it's not going to work first time, is it? I mean, Fallon Henley, how many different themes has she come out to because she's been part of Toxic Attraction? Fatal Influence. She was with Briggs and Jensen. She's obviously had her own individual theme, but if she's a face, she might have a different theme to if she's a heel. So it's not just a case of everyone gets one piece of theme music. You've got new factions that need theme music. You've got, if they turn heel, they need a different theme music. Like, honestly, it's just so much work. I could believe that being so much work. I think the only way that you could handle that amount of work is either by having a massive staff that just constantly, like, you know, try and like, you'd have to have a lot of staff just working on specific theme musics for people, or you take the other approach, which is you just work all day, every day, creating music with like different flavors. And if WWE go, we've got this Latin American guy, if you got anything Latin American, you go, yep, boom, there you go, Latin American theme, right? It's not perfectly tailored to the person, but it kind of touches on a theme, you know? At least it connects in some way. You know, Jada Parker, From the Streets, Mean and Moody. Can you give me something that kind of fits that? Yeah, no problem, I got this. Boom, there you go, yeah? Looking for something dark, creepy. Looking for something that's going to fit with someone that's a bit spooky. Got this girl called Wendy Chu. Yeah, bit of like a nighttime kind of vibe. Okay, yeah. I got some. Boom, there you go. And I think the only way you can deal with the sheer volume of music that you need is to take that sort of approach. Jim Johnston killed it, right? And because I think his music and approach was a bit more tailored to the wrestlers. I think this machine is so big now; it's so much harder to do that. So I wonder if there could be something in just writing angles, storylines, swerves, OMG moments, getting just a catalogue of them built up. And then, you know, just like Lego, you know, modular, you just kind of put these things together when needed. You just reach for the part that you need at the moment that you need it, and then you plug that in. I wonder if there's something in there. It might be a disaster. Might not work, honestly. I mean, it could be that you actually do it and it's just like, no, that doesn't feel right. They wouldn't act that way. To be honest, though, if you've got the idea and it's all fleshed out, you just tailor it. Do you know what I mean? You just tailor it. If I said I've got Rhea and Io and I need a swerve, I need an OMG moment, and I went to a bank of OMG moments, you know, the language in there might not be language Io would use or Rhea would use, but at least I've got the concept, I've got the template, I've got the layout, and then I can just change the language and make it more something Io would say, and I can make it more something Rhea would say, and I can adapt it to make it fit. But at least I've got the idea, and at least I've got it fleshed out, and at least I've got something to work with. So I think for me, like sports entertainment segments, I wouldn't just throw them out because, you know, we've done a lot of bad ones in the past, because we've done a lot of good ones as well. And I just wonder if that creative team is set up correctly, or if there's not a different approach that could lead to more creativity, you know? If there's not a different way you could set it up, and actually have, you know, people that just write a load of OMG moments, a load of swerves, just a load of, you know, one thing, and just really get a catalogue built up, you know? Rather than sitting down and just going, what does everyone think we should do? You know, and then you've got to just kind of come up with ideas in the spot. Why wouldn't you build up a catalogue? I wonder if they've got that. This is what I want Unreal to tell me. I wonder if they've got that. I wonder if there is a computer that's just got all these stories and swerves and OMG moments, and it's just a true catalogue of the history of wrestling. God, I mean, you could learn so much from the territories. You could learn so much from the history of WWE. Catalogue every swerve, every OMG moment. Hire someone, get him to do it. I'll do it. WWE, if you're watching, pay me money, whatever, right? I will come over. I will sit my ass down, right? I'll drop this channel. Don't worry about that. I'll sit my ass down and I will go through the history of WWE, and I will catalogue every storyline, every OMG moment, every swerve. I will catalogue it, build you a database that then you can dig into if you're looking for anything for future storylines. That is my offer to you. Yeah? Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. I heard that Roman needs some help. A fan, he might need to call Jon Moxley. Moxley's under contract with AEW, isn't he? I mean, God, after what we saw at SummerSlam, I wouldn't rule anything out, to be honest. Who knows? Maybe we are going to get Jon Moxley. I wouldn't rule anything out now. But, yeah, I mean, realistically, he's under contract with AEW, and so he can't come back to WWE. Big Time said, if I was a creative writer, I would be at home, I'd get pen, paper, and I would jot down all the ideas I could come up with. I'd gather at least 15 writers and tell them to focus on a variety of different stuff. Yeah. Do you know, I mean, like, I think they keep the teams quite small. I think that, you know, this is part of the TKO cost cutting. I think that, I don't know how it's set up. I don't know if there's someone in charge of, say, the women's division, and there's someone in charge of tags, and there's someone in charge of mid-card, and there's someone in charge of main. I don't know how they break it up. I mean, we got a glimpse of this is how Gorilla position is laid out. It would be nice to know how is the creative team laid out. How do you, you know, how many people are there on the Raw team and on the SmackDown team? What are their responsibilities? And, you know, kind of how do you actually, that, you know, this is what I was hoping for, to be honest. And this is what we didn't get, is I wanted that glimpse into that world. I wanted to know more about that. Perhaps WWE felt that that was too much to reveal. I don't know. Perhaps that was too much. That, I mean, that's the brain, isn't it, of this operation? That's where all these ideas come out of. I wanted to have a look at that. But we only got a couple of moments in that writing room. We got some good stuff, though, didn't we? I love that bit where they're like, who should win the Rumble? And literally all of them are like, Punk. So, I mean, we did get some good glimpses, but I'd love to have broken that process down and understood it better. If nothing else, we could have more educated conversations. Mohammed said Triple H has done some hypocritical type things in the past. He's a liar. The Rock is irrelevant now, seeing the storylines. Well, maybe. I can't really comment, to be honest, because I think Triple H genuinely is trying to put on the best product that he can. I don't really know why he felt that Brock coming back would be part of that. I don't even know if he did. I have no idea that this was his call. I know on commentary they made it clear. Well, I think they tried to make it clear, actually. I wonder if Triple H said something that got took out of context. I wonder if Triple H said something that he was like, no, that's not what I meant. And so they decided, we're going to have to clarify this situation, right? Everyone thinks John has asked for Brock, and that's just not true. And so on Raw, we had Michael Cole saying that it was Nick Khan and Triple H that reached out to Brock and said, it's time to come home, right? And I wonder if that was their way of trying to clean the mess up. I wonder if that was their way of trying to say it wasn't John, actually. A lot of you took what I said. I didn't mean it the way that you took it, right? When I said we're working through a list with John for John's opponents, I meant, yes, we are doing that, but I didn't mean Brock was one of them. So on Raw, they've tried to correct it by having Michael Cole say it was Nick Khan and Triple H that reached out and said it's time to come home. And Brock said, that sounds good to me. He really tried to make it sound quite emotional, you know? Quite emotional. It's time to come home, Brock. And Brock was like, okay. I agree. I think so as well. So I wonder if that was their way of saying, no, actually, it wasn't John. The only problem is, I think a lot of people, myself included, heard that and thought they had done that because John wanted them to. It's only John's comments today that have made me go, oh, so John didn't request Brock then. Even that comment on Raw didn't clarify anything. I mean, listen, when I tell you this is a mess in many different ways, it just is a mess. We can't even flipping communicate how or why this guy has been brought back at this time, clearly. So trying to piece this thing together is flipping impossible. It's like trying to put a jigsaw puzzle together when you don't even know what the picture's meant to be. James, hello. Daze, do we think long-term storytelling should be a thing of the past? People's attention spans in 2025 are non-existent. I don't think they should be a thing in the past. I think that if you think about Cody and finishing the story, that's clear. That's a long-term story, isn't it? You know, we didn't have him win at WrestleMania 39, so he could win at 40. And, you know, that wasn't just a case of months. I mean, that really, you can say, you could go back before he even returned and say that it involves Stardust and Cody and his dad. And, you know, you could even go that far back. But realistically, you can say the moment he returned at 38, I think, wasn't it the next night on Raw, he was in the ring cutting a promo saying, you know, here's a picture of my dad with the championship. And it was that night he told us that story that Dusty had won a match by count out. He was holding the WWE title, but it wasn't his title because he hadn't actually won it. And, you know, that was a picture that I spoke to my dad about. And it's Cody basically laying the foundation for what would happen 2 years later. 2 years later. He came back at 38 and on Raw showed us a picture that laid the foundations for him finishing his story and explaining what that was and why he needed to do it. And he did it 2 years later. Now, it wasn't just a story. I mean, there was obviously a feud with Brock in there. And of course, there was an injury. He was feuding with Seth. You know, there's a lot of other things that's in there. Of course there is. But I think there's room for that. And you can say the bloodline as well is a whole story. And the whole Sammy coming in and all of that. So, no, I'm a big advocate. I'm a big supporter of long-term stories. I think there is a place for those. But they have to be mixed in with shorter stuff as well. I don't think you can only do long-term. You've got to do some quick little things in there as well. You've got to mix it up. But even though attention spans are quite short, I think there is obviously room for stories, because even though attention spans are quite short, people watch their favourite shows and they watch stories play out over multiple episodes, you know. Here, we're going straight in here. We got Blake Monroe coming out. We are underway. Days, I was playing a trivia game, but I had no idea about questions in the 80s. So, Hannah, shout out to you. Here's Blake Monroe. Who's she say? Is it Kalani? I don't mind this theme. Talking of themes. I don't know why Corey is still down on NXT. I don't know why he's not left NXT. Here's Kalani then. Kalani making her way out. We're going to be starting with Blake Monroe against Kalani Jordan. I think there's obviously a great chance that we could be seeing Jordan get involved. Ah, no, what's that? We've got Maybelline in the ring. Ah, they've ruined it. Oh, they've ruined it. Oh, they've got Maybelline in the ring. This is how it starts. It might just say Maybelline right now, but give it a couple of weeks, there'll be blooming sponsors all over that ring. Oh, I don't think the Prime bottle looks that bad. Oh, how do you feel now? How do you feel now that all the turnbuckles have got blooming 7-Eleven on them? Kalani to the outsides. I reckon at some point we'll probably get to the point where they take the canvas off, and there's a different sponsor underneath, and each individual match will be sponsored. So this will be Maybelline, and then they'll take it off, and then the next match is someone different. Still hurts. Still hurts. Just because I don't moan about it, don't mean it don't hurt. I don't think it looks too bad at the moment. Yeah, well, come back to me in a month. Spin rounds. Oh, Jesus Christ. She was spinning so fast. It really did look like it was in fast forwards. Drop kick by Blake going for the cover. We got Heatwave coming up on the 24th. Did I know that? I didn't know that. Heatwave on the 24th. Well, what is the 24th? Heatwave, WWE. Is that a Saturday? That's something else I need to do, actually. I don't even know what I'm doing this weekend. I don't eat. It's a Sunday. Oh, when's Clash in Paris? Is that the 23rd? That would make sense if it was. No? It's the 31st. So we do... So we do Heat... Hang on, I'm really confused here. So is Heatwave... I wonder if that's the 31st because it is UK time. I wonder if it's... Is it the 31st or is it actually the Saturday? I don't know if it's not 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday night, going into Sunday, or if it is Sunday night. Well, either way, it looks like we have got NXT on the weekend of the 23rd, and we have got Clash in Paris on the weekend of the 30th. Down goes Blake Monroe. Kalani is a hell of a pace to this match, by the way. Kalani against the ropes. 1, 2, shoulder up there by Blake. Kalani grabbing the leg, looking for a single leg Boston. Another kick coming in there by Kalani. Stomping her head, look at that. Single leg Boston crab. Blake Monroe trying to get over to the ropes, and she gets there. As referee is in, and Kalani is letting that hold go. Kick coming in there by Blake. Kalani in the middle of the ring. Here we go. We've got Blake on the shore. That was an angle slam by Kalani too. Shoulder up there by Blake. Right, Nick said, what are the top 5 moments of the Triple H era, says Nick. Well, we'll tackle that at the next commercial break. Oh, massive headbutt. Massive headbutt. Big knee there by Blake. 2. Kick out by Kalani. Right now, is that going to be Jordan? Jordan's music hits. Jordan Grace comes down with a neck brace on. Blake Monroe gets out the ring. Jordan Grace coming out after her. Blake Monroe runs. She's going to the back. She's gone out the door. She's gone into a car that's waiting. Oh, Jordan is livid. Blake Monroe gets in a car and speeds away. Look at that. Jordan is livid. It's going to be a count out. 9, 10. There we go. Ring that bell. Ring that bell. T-Bone said, I've not heard anything about Undertaker. Is he on the show? Oh, he's not on the show, no. He made a one-off appearance a few weeks ago on NXT, but he's not on the show tonight. Aaron, shout out to you, buds. Aaron said 2025 definitely has been a roller coaster. There's been ups, there's been downs, there's been people throwing up. There's been people crying out of fear. It's all been happening. Andre Chase tells the guys they've got about a 1 in a million chance. So you're saying there's a chance. They're like, God, we're going to win this thing. You're saying there's a chance. So there we go. Right. I feel sorry for Andre. It seems to be raining pretty good in Florida. Yeah, I felt sorry for Jordan. She ran outside and there was just absolutely loads and loads of water, wasn't there? She's only small. I thought she might drown. Right, top 5 moments in the Triple H era. So I think, obviously, we've got to go with Brock returning. I think genuinely there's only been a few moments whilst I've been watching wrestling that genuinely... I sort of know that when there's a shocking moment, my first reaction is, oh my God, all that kind of usual stuff, because that is just my initial reaction. But there are moments that go above that. There are moments that are so shocking, so unexpected, so... It's horrible, actually. It's horrible. It's like I get a million thoughts at once, and it just sort of paralyzes me in the sense of I don't even... I go beyond kind of just the being shocked of, I just sort of like can't speak. It's like there's a kind of short circuit. I really hate to admit that, because as someone that does watch-alongs and someone that... kind of live reacts, to have like something truly shocking and my reaction is to just not sort of react, because my brain just gets flooded with thoughts and I can't find what I'm looking for. I can't believe what I'm seeing. Genuinely, Brock Lesnar's return fits that bill. Brock Lesnar's return is one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. So Brock returning has to be, whether you liked it, loved it, hated it, despised it, it has to be. If the question is what are the most shocking OMG Triple H moment, that is an OMG shocking Triple H moment. We're not talking about whether we liked it or not, right? So Brock returning definitely fits that bill. The other one that famously I had that reaction for was CM Punk's return. CM Punk's return has got to be in that, because it's the same reaction. Wasn't expecting it. People had questioned because he had left AEW and we were in Chicago and that was it. That was all there was. There was nothing else. It was just, he wasn't in AEW, so he was available and we were in Chicago. And so when he comes walking out, it's the same. What am I seeing? It's not computing type response. So that's got to be in there. I think the tractor, honestly, Brock with the tractor, him driving down. We just spoke about like those moments, those like beer bath kind of milk truck moments. I think Brock coming down at SummerSlam with that tractor, picking the ring up. I mean, it's still one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And so I would definitely have that in the list. I think you can't ignore John Cena's heel turn. Many people were saying it was like the most shocking heel turn. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was the biggest heel turn. I still have Hogan as number 1. But I think this absolutely is in the running. So I think that's got to be in there. So I think that's 4. And I think, honestly, probably the end of WrestleMania 40 with the Undertaker. I think specifically the Undertaker moment. I think Cody finishing the story wasn't too shocking, but it's a massive moment. But I think the way they did it with here comes Cena and here comes The Rock and Solo gets involved. And now here's the Shield music as Seth tries to get to the ring and he's all injured, right? And you've got all of that. I think it's specifically the Undertaker moment where the gong sounds that everyone just lost their flipping minds, because it was just this big, It was incredible, wasn't it? All those moving parts. So I would go with that. The end of the story and the Undertaker moment. So I'm sure there's others that can be in that conversation, but I think as a starting point, those 5 are not a bad 5 to kind of select. Hank and Tank are making their way down. I think the biggest shocks of the Triple H era are ones that he had little control or input over, said Johnny. The things that he had full control over usually are mid-booking. Right. Let's get Hank Tank versus Chase U. So, match score for that first match. It didn't go very long, did it, unfortunately? Daze would love to be Clash in London next year, said Blue Wheel Sonic. Oh, yeah, let's go. Clash in London. London Calling. Which is a song by The Clash. Right, we are underway. Yeah, look, really quick out the gate. Look, they're trying to steal a quick victory. I really like that, actually. Yeah, Dixon, Uriah Connors stuck underneath there. Tag was made. Quick kick coming in. These two trying to work quick. Yeah, they're working really well together. On the shoulders. Oh, lovely work. 1, 2. Kick out. Kick out. Yeah, it was really good tandem offense. So straight out the gate, Chase U doing well here. Trying to come over. To the outside goes Connors. Lovely top rope enziguri there. It's going to go through the ropes. Big boot. He goes down. God, you can see the effort that's being put into this match here. Hank and Tank. Big splash there. 1, 2, kick out. Match is carrying on. So Corey said he's not seeing any complacency out of Hank and Tank here. Shot coming in. Another shot coming back. Jared, shout out to you. Is there a reason why Nia is facing Thea? I would have thought that it would have been Lash more than anything. I think that's the match they're building to. I don't think they want to do Lash tonight. I think Lash is kind of the long term. I wouldn't be shocked if Nia beats Thea, keeps annihilating her, and Lash comes down to try and make the save. We get a bit of a stare down between them, and we just continue building. Not shocked if it's Nia Lash at Heatwave. So, yeah, we're building. We're just building. I mean, the honest answer is that Nia is down here because we haven't got anything for her on the main roster. So we're just getting her to go up against some talent. So they're just putting some girls in to, you know, get a bit of experience working with Nia, working with the main roster talent. Connors is going up. He's perched. Looking for... Nope, no joy. Rolls through. Tag is made. Charging over. Goes up. Round the houses. Down. Hank and Tank looking good. This is like a million miles an hour, this match. Connors collided in. Thrown to the outsides. Yeah, roll up. 1. No joy. Kick out. Picked up. Scooped up. Charging in, collides, planted. 1, 2. No. That feels like it's a botch. I think Connors was meant to come in there and make the save, and I think that Tank got confused and he stopped him. And I think that Kale Dixon thought, like, the save was going to be made, so he didn't kick out. This, I think, is the beginning of the end now, the real end. 1, 2, 3. Miscommunication, innit? It's a miscommunication where they thought the save was going to be made. I'd love to know what's going in their head right now. I'd love to know what they're thinking right now. Lights have gone out, and it looks like we're going to be getting Dark State making their presence felt. Dark State coming down. And it looks like they're going to be mugging these four, Chase, you, and Hank and Tank. I wonder if this is going to lead to like a 4-on-4 8-man tag match next week. Well, there we go. Dark State have attacked these guys. Here we go. Fatal Influence. That's the Ash by Elegance man in it. So Ash by Elegance is going to have a shot at the TNA Championship. They didn't even put his name on screen, which was a real shame. There's that Laney Reed. Fallon and JC are sort of bullying Jasmine a little bit there. Here's Miles. Tavian. Okay, a lot of love and respect between Tavian and Miles. Seems like they're in a good place. No sign of Charlie, Dempsey, and Ren Sinclair, of course. They're the only remaining members of No Quarter Catch Crew. I wonder if there'll be new members that are brought in to No Quarter Catch Crew, or if we're just seeing the beginning of the end of that team. Right, I want to get to the comments, but I need to just jot down the scores. So, opening match was Kalani against Blake. Obviously didn't really get much time or chance to do much. Quick pace on tonight's show, though. It's one of those where I just feel like it's coming at us a million miles an hour, and we're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So, good 90 for the opening match. Obviously, Hank and Tank against Chase U. You can vote for that right now. Didn't get long. I mean, it seems like they've really stacked this episode. 20 minutes in, we've already had 2 matches and an attack by Dark State in 20 minutes. We hadn't even finished the Seth Rollins promo on Raw by this point. I'm pretty sure Paul Heyman was still talking on Raw by this point. And here we are with like 2 matches happened to Dark State attack. We've had a couple of backstage segments where Chase U thought they were standing a chance. We've had flipping Blake Monroe jump into a car. We've had Tavian have a few words backstage with Miles Bourne. Fast pace doesn't cut it, does it? I mean, it's this is Concorde. This is hypersonic speed we're going at tonight. Wrestler Andy said, Daze, are we doing Wrestler Wing in Hall of Fame? It could be the Hulkster's best chance. Yes, I said we would, didn't I? And unfortunately, time did not permit so. We will do it, but let's get the community entry for July done first. And then we will turn our attention to starting to get some wrestlers in, because we said we would start doing that. There was an appetite in the community for us to start actually putting wrestlers into our own Hall of Fame so that we could kind of honor them as well. And maybe even honor those that have not made it into the Hall of Fame. Perhaps we feel there's some that really deserve recognition. So my concern is that it's just going to be Stone Cold, Undertaker, Rock, all that kind of stuff at first. I'm a lot more interested once we get past that level You know, once we've actually they're already in, I'm more interested in who do you want then. For me, the poll gets real interesting once it starts looking like Bam Bam Bigelow, The Miz, Kofi Kingston, and, you know, I mean, giant haystacks or something. I don't know. Like, once we start getting, like, down to those levels of, like, it's not Stone Cold, it's not Bret Hart, it's not The Undertaker, it's not Triple H, it's not The Rock, but actually it's more, you know, mid-card talent or people that were around the top, like, I don't know, King Kong Bundy. You know, those kinds of Red Rooster. Kamala. You know, once it gets to that level, I think it's going to be a lot more interesting. So, yes, we will get that ball rolling, but let's do the normal members first. Alex said HBK needs to book Raw. Steve said, since they turned Trick heel, it would have been better to leave Cutler James out the group and just reveal that Trick is the leader. That would have made it more interesting, and it could have given them more to do, said Steve. Okay, we are back, and we are just seeing a shot of the crowd. The crowd are looking a little bit bored at the moment. I think they're just having a little look on... some of them are on their phones. Maybe looking at the reaction at the moment to see... Oh, imagine that. Imagine if there was someone there in that crowd that joined us on streams to let us know what it was like to be there. That would be so good. Okay, we've got Tatum. The Cullen believes in you. You don't need to worry about fitting in ever again, because you're going to fit into the history books. Well, there we go. She is ready for the opportunity ahead. Are we going to get a new women's North American champion? Look at Corey and his glasses. All right, Thea Hail. What's this? Instagram. Shot fired. It reminds me of Friends in here, something Nia Jax doesn't have. So this is how they built the match, is it? She does go to these different coffee places. I've seen some of her like little coffee review things. It's pretty good. It's all right. There we go. Miles Bourne is making his way out. Miles Bourne making his way down to the ring. He's going to be in action. He's going to be taking on Lexis King. So that's how the match came about then. It seems like some comments that Thea made were just really not very well received. I feel the same. I understand the situation. It makes people uncomfortable, says Brony. Thea on caffeine, said Hawks fan. Nathan said they should do Thea and Cappuccino Jones. They could do coffee reviews. That would be brilliant. That would be really fun. She should definitely go and get him. Nia sees potential in Thea. That's why they're feuding, said Culture of Peace by engaging. James said, does it feel weird? I'm asking you more wrestling questions than being a cheeky git, says Jay. It does feel weird. It does feel a little bit strange. I don't know how I feel about it at the moment. I mean, we'll find out. It just feels weird at the moment. But then I would say quite a lot in wrestling feels weird at the moment. I'd say it's a weird time. I mean, it is weird. If you think that we've just gone through the loss of Hulk Hogan and how the wrestling world reacted to that. You know, real mixed bag on that with people remembering the character and Hulkamania and, you know, the positive aspects. And then, of course, people struggling with the negative aspects. I mean, it's really not long. It was only the other week that we had to go through that. And we followed that up with the return of Brock Lesnar. It has been such a strange couple of weeks. Such a strange couple of weeks. But clearly the weirdest thing is James talking about wrestling and not being cheeky. That's the strangest thing. Kit coming in there by Lexus. Daze, I brought some Miles rookie cards. Oh, that could be a good investment, couldn't it? Clever. Thinking ahead. Clever. Okay, Hank and Tank match. Another good 90, honestly. You guys not loving the in-ring so far. Let's go, Miles. Lexis King. Let's go, Miles. Lexis King. Duck underneath there by Mark. Come on, Miles. I can't believe we are getting Chris Jericho against Randy Orton on NXT. This is so amazing. Baby Randy is the chant. Baby Randy. RKO. Lexis, crossbody. Down goes Miles. Going for the cover. Shoulder up. Sign in the crowd says, happy birthday, someone. Is it Nikita? Happy birthday, Nikita. On the shoulders. Bah! Planted. Going for the cover. 2. Shoulder up. AB said, Lexis has the skills in the ring. All he needs is a solid, serious gimmick. Is it true that AEW took shots at the Lesnar return? I don't know, honestly. I can't say. I don't follow their accounts. So I've not seen anything, so I am not aware of any shots that were taken. Signing the crowd says, Miles, the kid born. As Lexis is climbing up on that top rope. He is perched. Drop kick there by Miles. Down goes Lexis. Going over for the cover. 2. No joy. Wrestling fan said, I've been out of the chat since Saturday. I was at SummerSlam and it was extremely tired. Well, I hope you had a good time, dude. Hope you had a good time. It's amazing that there's people that join us on a regular basis that were actually at that show. Going through the ropes to the outsides. Oh. Crashing down there, Miles. So we go to commercial break. Miles is saying, like, come on, let me hear you, but he's deaf. I mean, that's true, innit? They're chanting Baby Randy. I don't know that he can hear him. Lexis. So we're at commercial break, but we're sticking with it. Oh, going up, over, bang. I think I finally figured out Lex's gimmick. Whilst in real life he's the son of Brian Pillman, Lexis King is the grandson of Jimmy King from Ready to Rumble, the David Arquette movie, said Sean. Maybe that's it. Maybe you've cracked it. Sonny said, I've got a question. Go for it, Sonny. Sonny said, Daze, would a book on tarot cards or information on witchcraft sell well? Do you think people would buy it? No. I honestly, Sonny, I've given you, like, I think the best advice that I can give you. And I don't really know that I can kind of word it kind of any differently. I think that... I think your poetry, I saw some of your poems and they were actually really good. So I think that you have got talent and I think that you are really good. So I think that if you want to sell more poetry books, I think you're just going to struggle with the wrestling community because the wrestling community is into wrestling and there's just very little crossover with poetry, to be honest. So the best advice I can give you is I think if you want to kind of go into wrestling communities with a book, it needs to be wrestling related because that's, you know, there's one thing that unites us all here and that is our love of professional wrestling. That's our love of, obviously, WWE in this case. I think if you want success in like promoting like a poetry book, you kind of need to be in like poetry communities and poetry circles, because that's obviously what interests them. So I think, again, you know, is there much crossover with tarot and witchcraft and pro wrestling? I mean, very little. Very little. If you look at things like, I don't know, Undertaker, Papa Shango, Wyatt Six, you know, you can make an argument that there's a little crossover, but by and large, it's a very, very small percentage if you look at the wider picture. So my honest advice that I can give you is that you will probably get the most success like promoting a book or promoting something that connects to wrestling if you are in a wrestling community. And if you are selling a poetry book, you'll probably get the best success if you are in poetry communities. There must be channels and communities and fan groups and discords and Reddit threads, and there must be loads of there must be poetry talk. You know, like how there's wrestle talk and food talk and book talk. There must be like poetry talk. There must be like loads of places where people are really engaged in poetry, that have got like love sharing their favorites. And I've got to think that that is where your poetry books would gain the most traction. If that's the path you're going to stay on, you know? And if you was going to do like witchcraft and you was going to do tarot cards, then that's the community. That whole community is the community that where you'll get the best reaction, you know, the best response. I think you've done amazingly well to get the sales and the response that you've got. Honestly, I think you've done incredible. And as I said, I saw some of the poetry that you shared. I thought it was really good. So I don't think it's a question of skill. I just think it's really hard to get people that aren't engaged in poetry, you know? If they're not engaged in it already. You're kind of asking them to try something that they don't have any kind of real interest in already, you know? Lexit, so I hope that helps in some way. I hope that gives you some food for thought. Stomped there by Lexis. He stomps down on Miles, and he did actually connect with him there. Miles was on the ring steps. He stomped on his head. And there's a lot of people that are booing for that. Miles is down. Lexis thinks he's done something good. The match is going to continue. Back in the ring goes Miles. Oof. Miles down, back in the ring. Thomas said, I'm craving some sweets now. I'm not craving sweets. I don't massively get a sweet craving, to be honest. Miles in the corner. Lexis throwing in some kicks to Miles. Lexis going over the other side, against the ropes, charging in, bang, big drop kick into Miles. James said, Daze, what did Miles Bourne and Stone Cold have in common? What? What? That is an acceptable death joke. Well done. You have to tread. Sometimes you have to tread carefully with those things, but that was very, very well done. Kicks coming in there by Lexis. Miles Bourne is one handsome chap, says Leanne. But I'm old enough to be his ma, so I need to behave, says Leanne. Leanne is, I think, didn't you tell me the other week you're like 75? So old enough to be many of our mas and grandmas. But that shouldn't stop you, should it, eh? You're only as old as you feel. Nice suplex here by Miles. He's still digging deep, battling away. The knee pad is coming down. He's got... drives his knee right into the ear of Lexis. Ugh. Look at that. 1, 2. Miles Bourne gets the victory. Miles Bourne gets the win. That is match number 3 done. Leanne said, you're only as old as the chap you feel. Is that true? James, can you confirm that? Is that true? James, are you only as old as the chap that you're feeling? Daze, I'd love to watch the matches in the Cena farewell. Brock, AJ, Sheamus, Seth. Oh, you'd like to see Cena against Brock, AJ, Sheamus, Seth, Roman, Kevin, Edge, Finn, Gunn. Don't think we got enough dates, to be honest. Okay, we got Dark State. Here's Saquon. Here's Cutler. They know, don't they? They know he doesn't fit. They know. He's just come forward and gone, we're going to go right up your butt. And you could hear the crowd laughing and reacting. And like the rest of Dark State being like, that says to me they know he doesn't quite fit. And we're going to do a story where I think he might get kicked out now. Thea Hail, mate, I'm looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to it. I think that's a glimpse there into the fact they know that Cutler don't fit. She flipped the bird straight down the camera. Okay. Here's Nia. This is going to be a massacre. This is going to be brutal, and it should be brutal. Nia making her way down. I tell you what, though, this is one of those matches where if Thea does go to the main roster and whatever, it'll be one of those where you go, did you know that she actually faced Nia down in NXT? It was on like a random NXT. But they did do a Nia Jax Thea Hail match back in the day. And we'll be like, oh, I have to see if I can find that. And we'll be like, don't. It wasn't very good. It was just a squash. Nia in the ring. I think there's some Nia chants, you know, from the crowds. Can she get... Look, she's going straight for that Kimura. I was literally about to say, can she get the Kimura on? Can she get the Kimura applied? So, Corey Graves said, this might be the dumbest decision that Thea Hail has ever had. She's trying to get out of the way. She's trying to use her speed at the moment. She manages to get Nia down to one leg. Crossbody. Oh, Nia just shoves her down. Thea goes crashing down. Nia grabs her. Going against the ropes. Elbow drop, but Thea moves out the way. There's a kick that comes in. Standing moonsault there by Thea. Nia immediately gets Thea off of her. There's not even a 1 count. Thea comes in, trying to grab the arm, trying to pick up Nia. I mean, that is pretty crazy, isn't it? That is pretty crazy. Up on the shot. Oh! Samoan drop. Samoan drop. Nia chants. Thea Hail trying to get up to her feet. After she got Samoan dropped. Into the corner goes Thea. Right now we've got Thea in the corner. Nia with a big boot right in her throat. And there's a few boos, but you do hear some Nia chants. Every once in a while, like Nia, Nia. This is your girl. Are you kidding me? This is your girl. So Nia saying that. That's goodbye, Nia. Nia saying to the crowd, this is your girl. This. Against the ropes goes Thea. Are they going to give her a comeback? She gets thrown down there. God, there's something really satisfying about a really good squash, about seeing someone just getting, like, chucked around. There's so many matches that have to be competitive. It's just nice once in a while to see someone get murked. Even though I like Thea. We're going to commercial break. Sonny said, if I wrote fictional books on short stories that were for kids and teens and adults and included wrestling, do you think people might buy it then? Or should I stick with the poetry? I just think it's really hard, honestly. I think it's really difficult because short stories and poetry, you can even make them about wrestling, but it's still short stories and it's still poetry. So it's still going to be challenging to get sales because you're still asking people to purchase and buy into something that they genuinely don't have an interest in. I think you need people that are kind of interested in short stories. I think you need people that are interested in poetry to want to engage in those things. I think if you made it wrestling related, I mean, I'm sure you're in a few different communities. I'm sure you go into a few different channels and chats and, you know, and I'd imagine a lot of those are probably wrestling. So, you know, you'd have something there that would at least translate better, you know? You'd stand a chance of, if people bought your poetry books anyway, I've got to think it would only help rather than hurt if it was wrestling themed, you know? I can't see that it would hurt anything. If you sold poetry books anyway, which I know you did get sales, I can't imagine that it would make it worse if you made it wrestling related. But I can't say that it's going to result in any massive sales, you know, because at the end of the day, it is still poetry. And you are still asking people that don't engage in poetry to engage in poetry. So it's difficult. It's hard. I think if you really are interested in poetry, your best success is going to be go to like poetry communities, engage with them, talk to people about poetry, learn about different poets, maybe write poetry in different styles, and you know, kind of dig into it that way if that is an interest. But I don't know. I mean, there'll be plenty of people in the chat that will be able to give you advice as well. Might even have some poets, I don't know. Or poetry fans, people that can point you in the right direction. It's not a world I know anything about, to be honest with you, so I can't really help much further than that. It's never been a part of my life, poetry. Maybe it should have been. I think I could probably get something from it, but just never been a part of my life. Right now, we've got Nia and Thea. I'm staying with the action, but we are at commercial break. I'm starting a Star Wars figure channel, and I'm going to keep it separate from wrestling communities I'm in, said Black Mandalore. Well, I think it's wise to just mention if you've got a channel. I mean, I have no problem with people saying if they've got, like, you know, channels and they want to promote and whatever. I don't mind that. You know, there might be people that are interested in Star Wars that might check out your channel. Yeah, so that doesn't bother me in the slightest. I'm happy for people to, you know, kind of talk about what they've got going on. But yeah, I don't know that you can massively expect a load of people on a wrestling community or a wrestling channel to be engaged with Star Wars, you know? There will be a percentage of crossover. What that percentage is, I'm not sure. Same with poetry. There'll be a percentage of people that like wrestling and they like poetry. What that number is, might be 5%, you know, might be 10%, but it's going to be some sort of percent. It won't be 100%. Right, we're going back from commercial break, and right now we've got Thea Hail grounded, knee being driven in the back as we have got Thea getting up to her feet. Shot coming in there by Thea, and actually the crowd are starting to get behind Thea because she's hanging in there. She's not hanging in there. She just got absolutely smashed to the ground. Leg drop. 1, 2. Shoulder up by Thea. Shoulder up by Thea. If I was Nia, I would laugh. If I was Nia right now, can't believe she wants this to keep going. Oh, mate, these kids. You want some more, do you? You really want some more? No problem. No problem. Strap in, young'un. Strap in. We're going for a ride. Crowd are into it, though. And it's not a chore to watch this match. And they've given Thea more offense than I expected. And she's took some pretty nice looking bumps. She might be about to take another one. She's trying to get Nia down. Nia grabs her, though. Yeah, she's trying lots of different... Oh, face firsts. Is she going to... She's going to annihilate her, isn't she, at some point soon? Thea in the corner. Oh, goes into the corner. Thea moves out the way. Skin of the teeth stuff here where Thea is hanging on. She's being slammed down. Honestly, if someone goes, oh, shall I watch that Nia Thea match? I actually now would be like, yeah, it's worth a watch, honestly. The story is that Thea is battling hard. She takes some big blows, but she keeps getting back up. She works hard, but it's just the size difference is too much in it. She's caught by Nia. Into a DDT. Thea going for the cover too. Nia gets her shoulder up. But a DDT there by Thea. Going over, lands onto Nia. Thea goes up, bottom rope, into a senton, going for a cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up again there by Nia. I wouldn't give Thea too much. Kick coming in there by Thea. 1, 2. Shoulder up again. Shoulder up again. Thea going to the outside. She's going up. It is go big or go... Oh, my God. She really came crashing down. She was on the top there. She had her legs taken away from her. She came crashing all the way down. She's in position for an annihilator. Nia Jax annihilates Thea, and she does it very, very carefully. I think there was some respect there, to be honest with you. I think there was some carefulness. Caution was shown there by Nia. They're saying that it was dominant. I don't think you can call that dominant. Thea definitely had moments. Vic Joseph was like, I think dominant is an understatement. I don't think dominant's the correct words. They gave Thea more offense than I was expecting. Here's Kelly Kincaid. Any ring I step into is mine. I've beat champs, legends, Hall of Famers. What have you done? Here's Lash Legend. Force breaks under my pressure, says Lash. Right now, Nia picking it. This will be so good. This will be so good. Lash and Nia going at each other. Let them fight. Let them fight. And we go to the back. There he is. There's the champ. There is Obafemi. Let's go. Vic Joseph's like, we've got to get more security. Right. Mohammed said, why don't they put talent like Kalani and Fallon against Becky so that they can get more exposure to mic skills and wrestling improvement? They are both pretty much okay for Raw. Well, I mean, it's just a case of, being called up, isn't it? I mean, we might see some movement with the draft. We haven't done a draft yet. So it's one of those where we've called up a few girls that we think are even more further along, like Julia, Stephanie, Roxanne. And at some point, the main roster just can't accommodate more and more and more and more and more. So, Kalani and JC, they're just having to wait for the right time. I mean, honestly, we've called up Kiana James, and I don't think that it would be a problem to call up a Kalani. I think Kalani can provide some on the main roster. As I said before, I think just like with your drive-in test, you've got to be to a certain level. You don't have to be the finished article. And I think this could go to the main roster. There might not be the finished article, but they can continue to do their learning there. But it's just the other thing you got to balance is, does the main roster need them? And we've got quite a few girls already up there. We're struggling to use everyone that we've got. So you don't want to just move them up and have them sat in catering. So sometimes you gotta wait for the opportunity. Unknown player said, does the UK have sushi? Yes. Had it a long time. We have sushi. We have sushi restaurants, and you can get it in like supermarkets. I don't think you call yours supermarkets, do you? You call them like grocery stores. We call them supermarkets. It's where you get all your food from. Asda, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Morrison's. These are like our supermarkets, just full of, aisle after aisle of like food. And yeah, you get sushi there, sushi restaurants, sushi. Pretty big. Daze, why did Becky pick Maxine for next week instead of Natalya? Because she is a heel, she is cowardly, and she wanted the easier option. Noel said, what shows have we been to? WWE live tours, NXT house tours, WWE house tours. Have you enjoyed going to those? I have never been to a PLE. Well, I've been to NXT UK Takeover in Blackpool. That was kind of a PLE. So I've been to NXT house shows. I go to those when I go to America. I could not recommend them more. I think they are brilliant. Love them. Love them. I would love to go back to Florida and go to some more of those. I think if you are just willing to watch some wrestling and, you don't need big stories. I mean, clearly there's no storylines or anything. It's just like matches. But, and you don't get like interviews and stuff like that. But, you get to see a lot of big names. I mean, when I went, there was Trick Williams, Shawn Spears, there was Lyra Valkyria. I saw Lyra take on Tatum Paxley in front of 200 odd people. I mean, I saw Trick Williams take on Shawn Spears. I saw Lexis King, and I saw the family. I saw Tony and Riz and Luca, and these aren't just like evolved talents. It's the names that you see on the show in a room with 200 other people. I mean, it's brilliant. I couldn't recommend it more. And it's like $20 a ticket. And of course, what you're seeing doesn't matter. Doesn't matter who wins. Doesn't have any bearing on the show, but. If you're all right with just seeing the stars and watching them work and, being in a room with a couple of hundred people, if that, to see people that are going to go on to... I mean, think of where Lyra is now and what she's doing. I watched her with 200 odd people in April last year. I couldn't recommend it more. I think it's brilliant. I'd flipping live in those shows. I'd go to those shows all the time if I lived in Florida. We've got Jordan. Oh, I think she deserves to get her ass kicked, says Ava. So it looks like a match is being made. Right, here's Oba. So yeah, I've been to Raw as well and SmackDown. I mean, they're great. I enjoy those. It's not the same as an NXT house show but I mean, obviously the stars are bigger. I mean, if you have to go to one of those. Honestly, if someone was to say to me, do you want to go, here's some tickets, you can either go to Raw or you can go to this NXT house show, I'd go to the NXT house show. I really would. You got a better chance of meeting the talent as well. Do you know, I was actually waiting to go in April last year, waiting to go into the room. the door opened, right? Because a delivery guy came with some pizzas. He knocked on the door, right, as we were waiting to go in. Door opened. Javon Evans was there, took the pizzas. He was like, cheers, mate. Hi, everyone. And went off, took the pizzas to the back. And you ain't getting that if you go to Raw. Unfortunately, Javon didn't actually wrestle on the show. I don't even know why he was there. But it was 1000% him. Obafemi then in the ring. Oba. For over 200 days, I have carried this championship. We're asking the same question now. Who is going to step up? Hey, wasn't it last week someone confronted Tony? Do you remember that? We got that mystery. Imagine if we do Oba against Omos. I look at this division. The future is not looking bright. I've beat them all. So he's saying that he's beaten them all. Well, here's Trick Williams. So Trick Williams is coming out. He says the future doesn't look very bright. Oh, there he is wearing that TNA championship. He's got it backwards. Let's talk about it, says Trick. You sing your own praises week after week. Oh, yeah. When you think about TNA, you think about Trick and A. I'm the man carrying two brands. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yeah, man. So good. So good. Let's talk about it. You could never beat me, says Oba. I thought about it. Why not me? Okay. I'm a self-made superstar. I am that man. You keep looking for the man that's going to take you off this mountain. I am that man, says Trick. Here's Javon. Here's the young OG. Young OG is here. Trick, I ain't gonna lie, your ass is goofy as hell. Your ass can barely defend the TNA championship. Mind your business whilst grown folk are talking. Javon versus Trick. Winner faces Oba. That is Javon's proposal. Oh, let's do that match tonight, says Oba. Let's do that match tonight. Yes. You wishy-washy fans wish you could have Trick Williams for free. Javon said he's not going to wait 2 weeks. It looks like Trick wants to go 2 weeks' time. It's very captivating, this segment. Very captivating. Who's coming out now? What's this? Moose. Moose is coming out now. He's taking on... Moose is here. He's taking on Trick, is he not? Soon. In TNA. Moose in the house. Face of the franchise. Well, I'll tell you what, you can tell who watches TNA. Everyone, we've got a few people doing the old hand gesture here. Tricky Williams. Trickene. There's a lot of big guys in the ring right now, isn't there? A lot of big guys in the ring right now. Didn't hear what was said, but the fans were laughing at something. Lights have gone out now. Oh, is this going to be Dark State again? Dark State are in the ring attacking again. They're going after Moose and Oba and Javon and Trick. I mean, God, this is a statement. This is a statement. There really aren't bigger names that they could be going after right now. They're going right after the top end of both TNA and NXT, but they're getting murked. They bit off more than they could chew there. I tell you what, I don't know how great of a look it is to attack, sneak attack, and end up coming second best. I don't think that's a brilliant look, is it? They could have done, they could have attacked at any time, at any moment. They chose that moment, and then they ended up getting chucked out the ring and made to look stupid. Is that the right way to book Dark State? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. It's a way of booking them. I don't know if it's the right way of booking them. James said, would you put Dark State in the same category as Retribution? Or do we think it's salvageable? I think it's salvageable. I think it's salvageable for a few reasons. First of all, when they arrive on the main roster, that will be a new beginning for them. There's a lot of people that won't have watched them in NXT. So when Retribution arrived on the main roster, you can only make one first impression. With Dark State, you can sort of tweak it, get it right, and then when it arrives on the main roster, new first impression. So I think actually we're fine until they arrive on the main roster. We can just keep tweaking and changing and improving. So that's okay. We're okay. I think we're okay. I think it's salvageable. The only thing I'll say is that there's clearly stuff that's wrong. Cutler does not fit. And I think what they did earlier with him was very interesting. Very interesting. It was clear that they wanted that to bomb. It was clear that they knew it wouldn't land. That's not him saying something and it going wrong. That is him saying something they knew would go wrong. And you can tell that by the way the rest of the members sort of... If it was meant to be legit, he would have delivered it. We would have just moved on. But the fact all the other members gave him a bit of a look like, dude, what do you mean? You're going to stick that up his bum? Like, what are you on about? And it's such an awkward line as well that I think that says to me they know that this Cutler doesn't fit. And I think we're going to double down on that. And I could ultimately see him being removed from the group. So I think that's an issue that needs resolving. And also just little bits, really. I just think they keep like attacking people and it doesn't really lead to anything that exciting. And, you know, lights out attacks are a bit cliche as well, aren't they? I don't know. I wouldn't do the whole lights out thing. I think lights out attacks are done to death. So I think the lights out thing I'd probably get rid of as well, personally. But things like that where they just try to attack a load of people in the ring. I know it's great talent, but to come off second best just ain't a good look, is it? So, yeah, I think there's some stuff definitely there that needs ironing out. I think it is definitely salvageable. I think we've always got the opportunity for another first impression when they go to the main roster, but don't know, we've got to make some changes, definitely. Andy, hello, Wrestle with Andy, said, Daze, who do we think does better on the main roster, Oba or Trick? I think Trick's a better all-rounder, but I think Oba has got more aura. It's a good question, that. I mean, I think I would go with... It's a good question because I think they're quite close. I think I'm going to ride with Trick. I think that Oba is a bit more no-nonsense. Trick's got a bit more of a way with words. I think Trick has aura. I think if you think when he was a babyface and his music used to hit and the crowd used to be going crazy, like one of the things we would have said about Trick was that his aura was, you know, amazing. I think that because he's heel, it doesn't quite hit the same as much now. It still hits, but not as well. But yeah, make no mistake about it, his aura's just as good. Trick's is just as good in the right circumstances. So, oh hello, we're doing this again now. I think I'd be leaning Trick, honestly. But I think Oba is right up there as well. I think they're both going to do really well on the main roster. Right, look, we got Nia and Lash. They're brawling. So we just had Ariana and we had... Oh, no, now we've got no... God, it is just... Don't turn away. Now we got Ren and we got Charlie. Charlie said he's too good of a coach. He trained them too well. He just came out the freezer. What's happening? What's Ren doing? What am I watching? So he's just given Charlie Dempsey the outfit, and Charlie Dempsey has thrown that away. He's not actually a doctor. He just watches a lot of Grey's Anatomy, says Ren. Okay, so next week looks like they're doing Joe Hendry against Charlie Dempsey. There we go. Ren and Joe. So she started singing his song. He appeared out of the freezer. How long was he in there for? Where? Here's Inamura. Oh, hello, hello, hello. God, you can't take your eyes off this for a second. Oh, my God. NQCC is dead. Inamura versus Miles Bourne. Right, let's end the poll for Thea Nia. Good 97. Okay, we are underway with Inamura and Miles Bourne. Inamura, the Oberball feeler. I still can't get over that movie. Did a few weeks back, says Liam. Sonny said, I've managed to sell like 65, 64 copies of my books, almost to 100. Surprised I've started writing a fourth poetry book. It's amazing. Sonny, you should be so proud of that. Should be so good. So impressive. James said, if they did get rid of Cutler, who would we have replace him, if anyone? I don't know that I would, to be honest. I sort of like factions being like 3, ideally. I don't mind 4, but I just think 3 is a lot more adaptable. I mean, you can have someone go after a singles title, someone go after a tag belts. If needed, you can have them just go after tags and keep it like Freebird rule. Do New Day stuff with them. So I just think it's more adaptable. If you have 4, you got to book 4, haven't you? So yeah, I wouldn't. Kind of like what was said earlier. You know, they could back up Trick. If Trick needs them, they can join Trick, and Trick can be the 4th, but they don't have to have Trick permanently. Do you know what I mean? They can go off again. So, honestly, I think 3 is a sweet spot. I'm fine with that. Because if a very worst case scenario, you just keep them in the tag division like New Day. Worst case. Best case, you have, you know, tags and one of them goes after like a top title as well. Right now, we've got Inamura grabbing Miles, slamming him down. It's Stacks. God, you're right. It is Stacks. You're right. I think my brain is still frazzled from watching Joe Hendry come out of a flipping freezer. This is honestly, I feel like I'm just having so much thrown at me. The pace of the show is hypersonic. Another chop coming in. This is match number 5, and we're an hour and 15 minutes in. And we had a big promo segment as well. Inamura. Who do you think you are? Big slap coming in there by Inamura. Stacks goes down. Oh, hello. Here's Ariana Grace. She seems to... Oh, she slaps Inamura. She seems to have abandoned her comedy stuff. Referee saying to Ariana that she's got to get out of there. Is that going to be Briggs? Briggs lays out Inamura. Briggs attacks Inamura. Stacks goes over. 1, 2, 3. Stacks gets... That's another match done. Is everything all right? Are we cancelled next week or something? And we got to do 2 weeks worth of shows in 1 week. The hell's going on? Mate, if at the end of this, if someone's like, oh, I've missed the episode, can you let me know what happened? I'd be like, no, forget it. There ain't no way I can remember everything that went down on this show. Now we got Ethan Page making his way to the ring. Do you reckon they've set themselves the challenge of can we get everyone on our roster onto this show? Guys, let's build towards this getting everyone on the show, and even we're going to have some TNA people as well. Daze, thank you for the wrestling talk. I've enjoyed it, but you do still suck. Confirmed. Daze, what is Notting Hill in the UK like? Is it a nice place? Do you know what? I was there not long ago because I went to London with my dad and just to get some stuff done. Do you remember when I said that I think, was it June, was going to be really disruptive? And I was like, I'm telling you now, it's going to be disruptive. My dad's retired. We've got loads of stuff he's got planned. It will settle down, but it's going to be disruptive. And one of the things we had to do was go to London. And actually, we did end up going through Notting Hill. And yeah, I mean, it's lovely. It's really lovely. Some lovely little bookshops and lovely little coffee shops, and yeah, it's quite nice. But of course, you can not have to walk too far, and then you can start getting to some moodier kind of areas. I mean, the thing with London is it's so big that you've got these little lovely areas, and then you ain't got to move far before you get into like a moody bit. But then you've got like a touristy bit, and it's just this tapestry. London is amazing. It is truly one of the great cities in the world, where it's just old meets new, and it's like quaint little lovely areas meet like really run down areas. I mean, you could do a movie about London all about gangs and violence, and it would be a fair, true reflection of what London is like. But then equally, you can do a film like Notting Hill, which is like lovely, quaint little love story, and that or Bridget Jones or whatever, and that's perfectly true as well. You know, or like you could do bits in the touristy bit and all this. I mean, I suppose in a way, like any big city, you're gonna have that same sort of thing, you know. So I suppose it's just London turns everything up to 11. Just really does turn that dial all the way up to 11. So when I went to London, I found out a very interesting fact which I never knew, and that was to do with the Hard Rock Cafe. You know, Hard Rock Cafe. It's kind of all over the world. I had absolutely no idea that the very first one was in London. When you actually go on one of those bus journey rides, when you actually go on a bus journey around London, they actually take you past the Hard Rock Cafe, and they actually tell you that was the very first one that opens. I've just got it here now. It says the first Hard Rock Cafe opened in 1971 in Hyde Park, London. It was opened by two Americans, and they basically had like some musicians that would come in. And I think the story was like Eric Clapton used to go. It became a bit of a place to go, and he had his seat where he used to sit. And to kind of mark his territory, he had one of his guitars put on the wall behind where he would sit. And I think as soon as he did that, I think then Pete Townsend from The Who used to go, and he did the same. And it just became, kind of grew from there. So it became known for its kind of like memorabilia being on the walls and everything. And yeah, so that opened in 71. Apparently the second location was in Toronto, Canada in 1978. And it's crazy because in my mind, it's an American thing. Hard Rock Cafe is such an American brand in my mind that if you'd have told me the first one opened in Vegas, I would have been like, yep, that checks out. Or LA or something. So that was something I found out, that the first one was in London. I was like, no, flipping way, didn't know that. And now you know that. Daze, we've got Hard Rock Cafes in Baltimore. They are next to the Cheapskate Bay, and it's amazing. I think I've been to one once. I really don't ever pop into them. I went to one in Scotland. It was great. But yeah, I think if I go to London again, I might have to go to that. I think you might have to book though. I don't know. Okay, we got Ethan in the ring. We got 38 minutes to go. People are booing. Santino couldn't get the job done, but good fact is that he is still Canadian. He's just Canadian. He's not the greatest Canadian. Shut the hell up is the chant. Shut the hell up. So he's just talking about all these great Canadians. Sonny, you might mention you in a sec. All ego, Ethan Page. Boos are still raining down. Are we building to... Is there going to be like a Canadian that's going to challenge him or something? Or maybe it'll be in America. I don't really know where this is going. Please respectfully stand. So Ethan's going to sing the Canadian national anthem. Oh, those girls in the front row have stood up. Canada. Here's Tavian. Okay, this could be fun. Any update on Kevin? Only that he's had surgery, but no idea when he's going to be back. Okay, this would be good. Ethan Tavian, I'm down for that. No, that girl's still standing. I can relate. Tavian gets in. That crowd is acting like Canada is the worst place to exist, says Porky Pig. USA, USA, USA. It is weird, actually, that we are making Canada out to be like this awful place. That is strange. I'm a weapon in human form. He said he just needs to, like, focus all this pent-up energy. And it looks like it's going to be towards Ethan. That has prompted yes chants from the crowds. Learn how to walk, then learn how to run before you try and dance with all ego. Ego. What? What? Chelsea Green's coming out? Oh my God. Chelsea's in NXT. What's she doing in this segment? Chelsea and the Hervis. Tavioff rather than Tavion. Okay, so she's here to stand up for Canada. The best American heroes come from Canada. Where's this going? Ethan Page is the model Canadian, second to only Moir. Okay, well, she's not getting booed. So she came out to sing the national anthem and she's blaming Tavy off for ruining it. Boom, he hits Ethan. I'll find a woman that will. So it looks like we're going to get Tavian and a female to take on Chelsea and Ethan. That'll be good. Ren. He's got to get Ren, hasn't he? Surely. Ren? His old No Quarter Catch crew friend. His Fatal Influence. That was great. Canada, running your mouths. USA just punches you in the face. USA! USA! Tag match, said Steve. Mate, this has been bonkers. We're only 3/4 of the way through. How dare you two step to JC? So Jasmine has made a tag match next week, and I don't think JC is thrilled about it. Yeah, Tatum against Sol. This will be good. Tatum against Sol Ruca. And she does still have that speed championship. Lash and Nia are still brawling. This is very much like Sheamus and Rusev on Raw. Here's Ava. Ava's trying to calm this down. Next week. They're doing it next week. I really thought this was going to be Heatwave. Next week. What the hell's this? Take the ride. Yes. Yes. The top bull riders. Why are Netflix not cutting this? You wouldn't think Netflix would want to promote this. Bigger balls. That's what we need. Bigger balls. Yes. Do celebrities get involved in that? I reckon they might do. But you know, like how celebrities want to get in the ring for WWE. Do you get celebrities like Jelly Roll and people wanting to get involved in the bull riding stuff? Now, I'd watch that. I'd watch that. If you want my respect, that's how. Jelly Roll, if you watch him, if you want my respect, go and do that. Go and do the bull riding stuff. Yeah. With the big bull. Yeah, not the beginner bull. Don't come out on some donkey. Yeah, big. Get on Hercules. Yeah, get on Hercules. Let's see how you deal with that. I've said before, TKO own UFC, bull riding, and WWE. So any celebrity that wants to have a celebrity match, no problem. No problem. Come in. Come on. Travis Scott, come on. Jelly Roll, come in. Have a match. But you do also have to have a cage fight with one of the UFC fighters. And you do also have to have a bull riding thing as well. It is a 3-part deal. If you do the one, you have to do the other 2. So as long as you're all right with that, as long as that's okay, then come on in. The water is warm. Mackenzie said, we just need Britain and Australia next. What do you mean? To kind of get in there and have a go at the Americans. We got enough problems. We're all right. We got enough problems at the moment. Let's let the Americans and the Canadians fight it out. Why is YouTube Premium trending? YouTube Premium is so funny. It's a great product that's worth the money, yet no one wants to pay for it. Why is it trending? That's really random. I've got it trending, look, here on the site. And I was like, what's that about? Is there a problem with it? And this person here said, I brought YouTube Premium on a whim and I don't think I can ever go back. And that's got nearly 6 million views. 6 million views. And this is trending. Don't know. Strange. I love YouTube Premium, by the way. I couldn't go back. I'm hooked. I use it for my money and everything. Money for my music and everything now. Americans are easily riled up, said Sean. They're easy marks for a USA chant. AB said they're trying to reenact the Hart Foundation against the USA angle. Mohammed said, we're getting Io, Rhea again and again for the world title. Giving title shots to new talent will bring flavour, says Mohammed. Is that how we get the balls to book play Taylor Swift, said Glockness. Oh, we're backstage. We're back with Javon, Moose, Oba, Trick. Guys, you can't blink with this show. Here's Ava. Here's what's going to happen. 2 weeks. Okay, Trick versus Javon. Winner faces Oba. That match in 2 weeks. 8-man tag match with Dark State is booked as well. Here's Hank and Tank. All right. So, oh my God, Heatwave is going to be Hank and Tank against 2 members of Dark State for the tag titles. We've also got an 8-man tag that's been booked. And we're doing Trick against Javon. Now we're backstage having an interview with Ricky Saints. Mate, I think I did see Chelsea, didn't I? Chelsea Green. And was there a Stacks match? Oh. Have I seen Tony yet? I don't know if I've seen Tony yet. I think, did I see Dark State twice? Okay, so Ricky Saints is talking about Jasper Troy. Every second counts this week on this show. So Ricky is talking about Ethan. He's talking about Jasper. Everyone's striving to be on a Monday or a Friday. I like Ricky. I like Ricky a lot. So last time you saw me, I lost by count out to Jasper Troy. Okay, 2 weeks' time. Ricky Jasper again. There we go. Wow. Mate, they're going to do a rundown soon of what's happening next week and what's happening at Heatwave, and it's just going to be information overload. Daze, Chelsea has got bigger balloons, Daze, and balls than Miz, said Mohammed. She does have big balloons. If people get premium, do content still get ad revenue? I smell heel greed, said Culture of Peace by Engaging. I think the way it works is that rather than you having to watch an advert and then the content creator getting a very small percentage of that, they just register that you've watched that video instead. So the same small percentage should go to that content creator. But I think it all depends, doesn't it, on how engaged you are with YouTube. And I don't really get how it works, but the content creators do still benefit. Basically, whether you watch their videos with ads or with YouTube Premium, how it actually breaks down, I can't go into the science of that because I don't know it. But it does sort of replace ads, if you will. No idea what helps content creators more, though. No idea if watching a video helps more than if you've got YouTube Premium. No idea. Tatum. Right. Daze, how are you still single, says Ben. Well, to be honest, mate, I think it's because I just don't leave the house. I think that will do it, to be honest. Because when I did used to leave the house, I did used to get into relationships. And since I've stopped leaving the house, those relationships have definitely dried up. Plus, also, I think the fact that I spend every single day, hour after hour, doing this probably also is a barrier. So, yes, I have done some deep internal kind of perspective looking, and I think I've addressed where the true problems are. I'm too cute. That's what it comes down to. I'm just too goddamn cute. Daze, WWE should do Clash in Tokyo. They should. That would be awesome. The Tony segment is after the credits. Maybe they'll go back to it then, says Vic. Definitely need an update on that, yes. We are Daze's best protection from STD, says Rhino. Guys, you are so effective. You are so effective. James said, Daze, simply just haven't a woman that's good enough to enter it. That's true. That's true. No woman is good enough. Joe said, I should set you up with my sister-in-law. I'm all right. I am not on the market. Yeah. Because I have given my heart to you guys. Could you imagine if I was even trying to get into a relationship? How disastrous that would be. I live in the middle of nowhere. I stream all the time. When I'm not streaming, I'm doing work for the channel. It just ain't going to work, is it? I know that this conversation keeps coming back around because, to be honest with you, I think there's a lot of women that are jumping in, pretending to be guys, creating fake accounts, desperately trying to bring me out from, this space to try and get me back onto the market. And I think there's a lot of that that's been going on recently. And, in one way it's flattering, but I just don't know how many ways I can say that I just don't have time and that I've already given my heart to this community. Do you know what I mean? Do you have a sugar mommy? Says Doctor. You have a sugar mommy. Well, this community is my sugar mommy is King Yeti. Dormouse, King Yeti, Phoenix. They're all my sugar mommies. Joe said, gotta find a WWE loving streamer girl. I'm honestly, I'm all right. I'd imagine that is a very niche pool, isn't it? So they're catfishing, said Vic. They're catfishing. If it was your bro-in-law, he might be interested, says Corey. No, I am taken. I am taken with this community. Thank you. Daze has hashtag Sugar Yeti. What does that mean? Oh, right, okay. Got you. Mr. B Light. Love the bearded, said, I can bring you out of the basement. That sounds wrong, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, in many ways, even reading it, it's like, I can bring you out of the basement. Don't you worry about that. I can bring you out the basement. I can do things that you can only dream of. That's how that message read to me. Very intimidating. But I am also interested, so drop me a DM, yeah. Right, here, look, they're still going through matches that have been made on this flipping show, you know. It's going to take an hour to go through all the matches they've announced, because they've announced that many. Right, here we go. Main event time, 16 minutes to go. They're probably still going to try and fit in 3 more matches, though. Sol Ruca against Tatum Paxley. Which way does this go? Could we get a new champion? Could we get a new champion? Sol Ruca against Tatum Paxley. Daisy, are you doing Triple Mania? I don't think so. I did want to, but I heard it's the same night as UFC, and it's a big UFC show. So I think it's one of those where it's not technically a WWE show. It's a AAA show. And there will be a couple of WWE stars on it, but yeah, I think I probably am going to have to do UFC. I want to do some UFC as well. I forgot what it's like. 1 fall. Right, here we go. Days, did Chelsea suffer a nip slip during the recording of a video on X? I don't know, but I don't know. I've not seen that. I mean, don't you worry, I'll look into it, but I've not seen that. Tatum getting her intro. Should we do a poll? Let's see. Let's see. Who leaves as champion? Sol Ruca. Is it going to be Sol Ruca? Is it going to be Tatum? Got some soul chants. Seems like the crowd are with Soul. There's a soul sign in the background as well. Do you know what? This show has been absolutely bonkers. The only thing I would say is I don't think the match quality has been very good. It's been a bit more of kind of what we saw on Raw. Might be because we've just tried to fit too much in. But I think if anything's got an opportunity to deliver, it really could be this match. Okay, Sol goes into the corner. Oh, lovely. I love it when she does that, actually. That's a signature Tatum move. Where she kind of like does a crossbody in the corner and just stays there a little bit. Kick coming in there by Sol. Stomp coming in there by Tatum. Tatum manages to get onto Sol. She fully mounted, but... yeah, that's nice. I like the smile on the face of Tatum. 1, 2. Yeah, she was trying for a pin there, Sol. Big right hand coming in. She does have that speed title with her. Hasn't that show been cancelled? Yeah, it might be that... that she hasn't been told that she can't carry it or anything. Suzanne said, I wouldn't worry about that stone. If she really loves you, she wouldn't. Here we go, going over. Oh, two in the corner. Right now we've got Sol Ruca up on her feet. She's looking to... Oh, we got a bit of a... Is that a wave that started? Shot coming in. Yeah, we've got Mexican waves on the go. Tyler, shout out to you. Tatum is down. Right now, we've got Sol going up there. Sean Spears. Sean Spears with a distraction. Zarya gets involved. Here's the Cullen. Izzy Dame having some words. Oh, at the moment, we've got... instead we got Sol going. She just missed that plinth, mate. She just... I don't even think she realizes how close she was. She just missed that plinth. So, right now, we've got Zarya and Sol Ruca on the outside doing that because we're back at playground now. Losers! Losers! Ah. But that has allowed Tatum to get back into the match. That almost ended so bad for Sol, said WrestleRants. Right now, shot coming in. Sean said, Daze isn't in the basement. He's obviously in the penthouse overlooking the skyline. It is true. It is true. This is actually the basement, though there is another couple of floors above. This is the basement level. So, actually, when we talk about basement, it is still a great view. Market Drayton behind me here. So, very good. Right now, we've got Tatum going into the corner, going down. Ben said, where can I get my application for Daze's sugar partner, says Ben. Oh, yeah, my phone came back. My brother brought my phone back. I've had that a little while. It was, he did have it. There is no application, Ben. Ben, if that is your real name, Ben. Ben. You do seem the most desperate out of everyone in the community to make that application. And, you know, I'm flattered. I'm flattered. But I'm afraid there is no vacancy at the moment. I'll keep you updated, though, Ben. Right now, Sol Ruca goes over as... into the ropes. Into the ropes. Daze, I looked up on Google if there is a Southampton, Indiana, and there is no Southampton, Indiana. It never existed. What? So, hang on, are you telling me there's a Northampton, but there's not a Southampton? Carmen 9267, I am shocked. Oh... Crowd are chanting away, cheering away. I don't know why we're doing it. Has this got anything to do with what's going on? Has this got any connection to Tatum Paxley or to Sol Ruca? Something to do in it, I suppose. Right now, Sol Ruca has got Tatum against the ropes. Tatum is up looking for a boom. Yes, getting a DDT, going for the cover. Two. Kick out. Kick out. Brony said there is a Southampton, Indiana, where I live. Wow. Oh, there we go. There it is. Carmen, we found it. It's been located. It was in the lost and found. Headbutts coming in there by Tatum. Sol Ruca down on her knees. Another headbutt coming in. Johnny said, this is the energy we needed for Raw after SummerSlam. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Really stretching back Sol Ruca there. That is lovely. Sol Ruca trying to find a way of getting up to her feet. Wrestling NXT, Women's Wrestling NXT, Women's Wrestling NXT, Women's Wrestling NXT. Yeah, I'm here for that. Tatum up. Oh, she went for a DDT. So Ruca cartwheeled over against the ropes. Natural, God-given athleticism, said Vic Joseph, as a chop comes in there by Sol Ruca. Tatum against the ropes. Over the other side. Tatum goes down. Sol Ruca in control. Which way is this gonna go? Oh, look at Sol Ruca flipping all over the place. Beautiful kick coming in. Smile on the face of Zarya. Neck breaker. Yeah, let's go. Back in the corner. Sol Ruca looking to put Tatum away. Tatum in big trouble. Planted. Going through for the cover. Kick out there by Tatum. Mexican wave comes back round again. Knee to the midsection. Yeah, she's gone to the outside. Izzy Dame is out there trying to provide some support. Sol Ruca comes over. Tatum goes to the outside. Lovely kick there by Tatum. Tatum getting in. Tatum going over by the rope. Setting herself. Middle rope moonsault. I thought she was going to get kicked, but she didn't. Two. Oh. Mate, this could go either way. 64-35. You lot are thinking it is going to be Sol Ruca. Do we even get the betrayal? Could we even get Izzy costing Tatum? Crowd are chanting, this is awesome. Easily best match of the night. Easily. This is awesome is the chant. Shot coming in there by Tatum. Chops coming in. Driving Sol back. Tatum has got Sol in the corner. Tatum's awesome, said Rare Breens. Solid match, said A. Jobson. Right now, we've got Tatum going up. Looking for a superplex in the corner. Is she going to get it? It feels like Sol is blocking it. Is she going to keep blocking it? Oh, they're chanting Sol. Sol. Oh. I've only just realised. Tatum Paxley down. Sol's cakes are lovely. Oh, I've never tried any. Right, now we've got Tatum down. Sol charging over. Oh, into the corner. Tatum quickly over. Rolls up Sol. Two. What's that? Three. Oh, mate, that was super close. Super close. Oh, reverse 1, 2, Sol almost with the 3. Big kick coming in. Tatum goes down. Mate, this is so good. Championship on the line. Main event of NXT. This could go either way. Sol Ruca, no. Lands on her feet though. Charges into Tatum. Drives her in the corner. Big slap coming in. Kick coming in. Top rope enziguri. Sol to the outsides. Tatum up top. Sol going big. Loses her footing. Spills to the outsides. I don't think that was meant to happen. I think that's a little bit of a botch. But no drama. High risk, high reward. She goes again. They're going for a big move here. They're both on that top rope. Something big coming in. Headbutt there by Tatum. Right now, Bulldog on the top, coming in. Net breaker. Swinging net breaker. Tatum might do it. Sol Ruca down. Oh, mate, look at Zarya. What are they doing? What are they doing? So, right now, they were going to... Oh, no. Now we've got Nia and we've got Lash. There's chaos on the outsides. Tatum's grabbing that doll. She's used that before as a weapon. But now we've got Nia and we've got Lash. Oh, my God. How does this play? I think Sol might find a way of retaining. But there's so many moving parts. Right now, oh, Nia through the barricades! Soul Snatcher! Oh my God, Tatum's gonna lose. Because of all of the noise that was going on. The Cullen did actually try to help Tatum. They handed her that doll for her to use as a weapon. But with the Lash legend, Nia Jax situation, honestly, there were so many moving parts there. Didn't know which way things were going to go. It was a really exciting main event. Oh, God, I love that bit. That was sick. And that was sick as well. There was a lot of sick moments, and that Soul Snatcher's sick. Oh, my God, women's wrestling is the best. So good. So good. Do you know what? I watched this match and it just makes me hate men. Just this suck. I hate myself. Just women's wrestling all the time. 24/7. That's all we need. Are we going to get another Tony segment? I hope not, because he's a man. Oh, by far, not even close. This was the best match. Not even close. Nah, man, no Tony. Nothing. Nothing, no Tony. Good. Stupid men. Sol needs to be on the main roster, said Jeremy. Brian said you got all that talent and then you got Nia Jax. Hey, her match with Thea wasn't bad earlier. I genuinely didn't mind that. It was just all the men that decided they wanted matches as well. I need some Sol Ruca rookie cards, said Wrestle with Andy. Yes. Yes. Sol Ruca. I am becoming a bigger fan of women's wrestling, said BBB Ipsy. Leanne said, the show was so good. I loved it. Do you know, I don't know, man. I just don't know with this show. I just don't know. I might do the review later and just... I don't know. Score-wise, don't know. I feel like they got in a room and they were like, right, has anyone got any ideas for next week? And there was like all these ideas that came out and they couldn't decide which one to do. So they went, should we do all of them? Let's just do all of them. Because I love that match. I love that match. I love that promo. I love that. Yeah. What did you say? You said Joe Hendry comes out of freezer. Let's just do it. And so we just did it all. I do think, though, that in a way that hurt the match quality, of course, because there was no matches that really, outside of the main event, that got a chance to breathe. But then they just gave us a really enjoyable main event. So it's definitely a positive score. The pace of it is insane. But when does quick become too quick? You know? So, I don't know. I don't know how to put that into a number. Let's give it a thought. Who doesn't hide in a freezer, says Porky Pit. It's a good point. It's a good point. NXT was like speed. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah, do you know what? It's a really good shout. That's a good shout, actually. If you took out all the promos and actually just delivered the matches and took it down to, say, an hour, that could be what I thought speed was going to be. Just 3-minute matches, loads of them, in the space of half an hour even. Yeah, that's what I thought speed would have been. And that would have been great, honestly, if they'd have made it its own like proper show and everything. That would have been brilliant. But they didn't because they're cowards. NXT has been a little bit lackluster recently, said Sanam. How did you feel about this week, though, Sanam? How did you feel about this week? Did you feel this was lackluster? I feel like it was... I'm not down on this week. I'm not down on this week at all. I think that there's obviously a few little tweaks that need to be made, but God, they gave you a show. You can't say they didn't give you a show. They definitely gave you a show. You can definitely see the work and the effort that has gone into this, you know? Very impressive. Okay, I've put the feedback request up. What did you think about NXT? Days, I might go to the American Legion Post 100 Lake Station, Indiana to see ARW Pro this Friday. And then the Sheriff Slamboree. Yes. At the Porter County Fairgrounds Expo Center in Valparaiso, Indiana, August 16th. The Sheriff Slamboree. It's just a whole night where we pay tribute to the big boss man. Yes. Do it. Do it. Send me videos as you go and have fun at the Sheriff Slamboree. It's where we just have all the local sheriffs flipping just go off at each other. That's what I want to watch. Let's get back to real wrestling. All these police departments that have got big issues with each other, there's one way to settle this. Bring your finest to Sheriff Slamboree! I just want to rip your shirt. That's what it's really about, innit? That's what it's really about. The problem with the show is it was a little bit rushed. Matches itself weren't that. Had moments, and the main event helped. So 7, says Ninja. I think that's very fair, to be honest with you. I think it's very fair. I think that this is a show that was definitely worth watching. Loads happened. Loads of storyline progression. I just think the match quality, it's a real shame that the match quality wasn't higher, wasn't better. But with the short amount of time that the matches were given, you can understand why they, you know, didn't quite get where you would like them to get. So, again, one of those, yeah, good to great for me. I think it's going to get a very, very favourable score. But not like a historically good score or something like that, you know. Nothing that's going to be truly like, oh my god. But I could honestly, if there are people that do feel that way, I could understand why, because you got a lot, man. You got a lot here. If you judge a show on talking points, geez Louise, I can't even remember them all. I can't even remember them. My brain was so frazzled, I was thinking Stax was Miles Bourne at one point, man. I was just like, honestly, spinning. So, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. Okay, let's end the poll and let's send this baby home, shall we? Who throws a doll? Says AB. 65. Oh, yeah, wow, people love that main event match. Great 79. That's big. You deserve it. You deserve it. For me, said Leanne, I think it's like a 7.9. Compared to last night's same old matches, I gave that about a 3. Well, I've got the feedback request up now, so if you do want to feature in the NXT review video, which I'll be recording, I'll probably do that before Unseen. And then I've got my list of jobs to do as well. So, and I'm getting them jobs done. So keep your eyes peeled for all of that. But, yeah, get your thoughts in if you want to feature in that video. And with that being said, I think we can wrap this baby up. So massively appreciate people joining us. We are back again tomorrow for Evolve. So we will be streaming again. This mammoth run is not quite over. Obviously, we did SmackDown, SummerSlam, Raw, NXT. We're still back again tomorrow for Evolve. But yeah, wow. Just really appreciate all the support. Really appreciate everyone that's kind of discovered the channel for the first time over the weekend or picked up a gifted membership or whatever. There will be a member stream tomorrow as well. If you want to see how sexy LS Dub is in real life, then you can see, because he will be joining me tomorrow on that member stream, as we're going to talk about his very interesting tweet that he put out. And yeah, we'll be doing Evolve after that. So big thank you to everyone that joined us. Hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed hanging out and talking a bit of wrestling. And I will see you whenever I see you, which could be tomorrow, could be Friday for SmackDown. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend. We'll find out together. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.